good finish.
However, in mid-March, Harry Neal, then where did you think your club would go?
Well, we talked about it, and I'm sure everybody in our half of the league out west there talked about the fact that you conceivably could get to the Stanley Cup Finals without having to play perhaps the top 4 teams. Although Edmonton and Minnesota, there may be some argument whether they were included in the top 4. But we certainly didn't think for a second that we could get there without playing one or both of them.
Harry Neal, you were suspended. You had an opportunity to return to the bench and resume coaching of the team. You gave the reins to Roger Nielsen, even though you had the opportunity to come back. To me, that's a terrific sacrifice of one's ego that not many personalities in this game could do. What about that?
Well, actually, it was a no decision. I miss not being here behind the bench. There's no question about that. But I think it would have been a selfish move and not a very wise one either, because we were playing so well. And possibly if Roger wasn't going to be the coach next year and I wasn't going to be the manager come June, I may have looked at it differently in trying to make sure that I had a job in the next fall. But this is something that happened, before we thought it would. The team responded in splendid fashion to Roger. He was in a tough spot. Stan, what if we'd lost the last 4 or 5 games and gone out 3 straight again? He would have started, behind home plate next year, which wouldn't have been very fair. So when the 10th game finished, I think we were in the middle of the L.A. series. It was, no thought at all of going back, and it looks like it was a good move.
Stan Fischler here with Harry Neal, the coach and soon-to-be general manager of the Vancouver Canucks. And reading some of the papers, Harry Neal, you get the feeling that playing against your team is like swimming with a pool of piranhas or playing handball with Tasmanian devils. Now, what's your evaluation of the first game that was played?
Well, I think it was anybody's game, and the Islanders won it, and we certainly feared that game. That's a tough one for us coming off a very emotional happening in Chicago on Thursday and having to play Saturday, and that was the one that worried me with reference to getting bombed, which we probably couldn't then as we might at any other time during this series. And so we played a good hockey game. We're a frustrating team to play against, and we know it. And we're going to try anything we can to see if we can do something here in the Stanley Cup Finals. Getting here is great, but it's not enough. And I know I'm echoing the sentiments of every guy on our team. We think we've got an underdog's chance of knocking the. There's been enough examples in all sports of coming right out of the clouds and beating the favorite team. I don't know whether we can do it or not. And the accusations that are flying around New York about the way we play have done nothing but motivate us to a greater degree. We like playing that role, and I don't think that there's anything wrong with playing good, tough hockey. We don't care if there's a fight in the whole game. If there is, we're well equipped to handle them. But we're going to get in the way of the Islanders all night. Every night, we think it's the only way we can beat them. No other team's tried that in the playoffs. We've watched the tapes of all the other series, and whether it works or not, I don't know, but we certainly have Mr. Torrey and Mr. Arbor complaining about it, and that in itself is a step in the right direction.
Last question. What can we expect tonight in Game 2, Harry Neal?
I think we'll be tougher. I hope it's the same kind of a game as far as keeping close. We can't get... it scared me the other night when we got 2 goals behind the Islanders, and as usual, the first period for us is an important one, and we're confident, but we have great regard for the New York Islanders, and we hope that we can play like we did after it was 4-2, before it gets 4-2 tonight.
Thanks very much, Harry Neal. The Vancouver Canucks have already shown that they command a lot of respect, and we're going to see more of them, and we'll be back with the start of tonight's game in just a moment.
Long Island Trust presents a Long Island portrait. No other bank knows Long Island like Long Island Trust. Member FDIC.
Remember me? I led our troops to victory. Gave them a sense of security. Everybody needs security, even an old battle horse like me. So I got myself this Hillside Betting security blanket. Guarantees in writing the lowest possible price. And get this, Hillside will replace any purchase in 30 days if you're not completely satisfied. Want to win the battle against inflation? Go to Hillside Betting. It's the best security you can get. Sleep on that.
Sealcrest Betting Collection by Sealy, makers of the famous Posturepedic, available at these Hillside Betting Centers.
The Radio Television News Directors Association has picked WCBS as the best radio news station in America. It's their equivalent of a Tony, an Emmy, an Oscar. This award says that you get the best at WCBS Radio. News professionals who keep you on top of the news all day, every day. WCBS News Radio, 88 on your AM dial. The best in the business.
From the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, New York, Sports Channel presents Game 2 of the best-of-7 Stanley Cup Finals. Tonight, the New York Islanders, the defending champions, host the Vancouver Canucks. Participating advertisers are Budweiser. For all you do, this Bud's for you. The people of Eastern Airlines, who believe we have to earn our wings every day. Chemical Bank. The chemistry's just right at Chemical. The #1 selling auto team on Long Island, your Nassau Suffolk Chevrolet dealer. And Mobil Detergent Gasoline. Mobil washes dirt away before it accumulates to help maintain your car's performance. Tonight it is Game 2 of this series. The Islanders at home to the Vancouver Canucks. Hi again, everybody. I'm Jakes McDonald with Ed Westfall. The question on everybody's mind, will Vancouver come out and play the same style of hockey as they did in Game 1? Maybe that's the only style they have.
Hey,
they
you
used
stole
it
my line.
I'm sorry. They used it successfully against Chicago. Obviously, they used it against Los Angeles as well, and Calgary prior to that. And as their coach said, it's what got them here. You have to dance with what you bring to the dance, I guess.
There's no question, Jake. They do not have the versatility of a lot of teams. They got this far, and as they gained momentum in the playoffs, they did it with playing very close, very deliberate defensive style hockey. And what got them here and got them to the overtime against the Islanders, I cannot see them changing it, really. They're going to have to work a little harder at it. All things being equal, the Islanders did not play that good in the first two periods in particular. Not until later on in the third period did the Islanders get things going. And in the overtime, Vancouver hardly got out of their own end. But the shots were 6-6 in the overtime period. So it says a little bit for the defensive structure of the Vancouver Canucks. But they can't continually play that way and expect to be successful against the Islanders, because when the Islanders play well, Vancouver is not going to get any goals.
Over and above the first two periods, I think the other problem area for the Islanders in the opening game of the series would be in goal. I don't think Bill Smith had himself a very good night in the first game of this series, and I'm sure he would agree to that.
He started off a little shaky, Jiggs, and he looked a little shaky until, again, the third period. He can be a settling influence on the team if he wants to be. He was rattled a little bit. They were getting in around the net on him, and they were knocking the feet out from underneath him. They were trying to upset him. And if he goes for it, that's a plus for Vancouver. If Billy Smith doesn't go for it, of course, then he laughs at them, and he does what he does best, is stop pucks, and that frustrates Vancouver then if they can't get to him. I'm sure they've had a talk, and Billy's had a talk with himself, and you'll see him, I'm sure, not pay any attention to players around the net. If he does, it'll cost him.
Oh, bound to. There's one change as far as the series is concerned. It resumes in Vancouver on Thursday night, but make note of this change. The starting time will be 7 o'clock Vancouver time, 10 o'clock here in the East. That is a change from the previously announced 7:30 or 10:30, if you will. So it is Thursday night at 10 o'clock Eastern time for Game 3, and then Sunday night Game 4 will be played at 8 o'clock Eastern time at Vancouver's Pacific Coliseum. Teams are out on the ice. We'll be ready for the opening face-off right after this message.
We're Eastern, America's favorite way to fly.
For 3 years now, more passengers have flown Eastern than any other airline in the free world. If you're flying Eastern, we thank you. If you haven't flown Eastern recently, give us a try. We'll show you we really do earn our wings every day.
We're Eastern, America's favorite way to fly. Come fly with Eastern.
Through patient love in all thy sons command, with glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
A sellout crowd here at Nassau Coliseum. The fans remain on their feet to once more cheer their New York Islanders as the game now moves to the hands of referee Ron Wicks, joined by linesman John D'Amico and Gerard Gauthier. For the Vancouver Canucks, it'll be Richard Brodeur facing goaltender Bill Smith of the New York Islanders. Brodeur's goals against, now 2.51, a record of 11 wins, 3 losses in the playoffs. The regular season, he was 3.35 with 20 wins, 18 losses, and 12 ties. And there is Bill Smith, who won 32 in the regular season, making his 13th consecutive start in these playoffs. You saw his lifetime record. His goals against average in this playoff is now 2.68. Ryan Trottier at center ice. Clark Gillies is on left wing. Mike Bossy is on the right wing. Potvin and Morrow on defense. And it's Potvin picking it up at the Islander line. That's Field in forechecking as Potvin gave it to Gillies, then back to the Islander captain. Now to Morrow. The Trottier off the heel of his stick. Gillies picked it up at center ice and dropped it back to Potvin. Fraser, Bradeen, and Smeal, the forward line for Vancouver, as Trottier gave it to Bossy, and his long shot was grabbed. Left by Brodeur, picked up by Hallward. Doug Hallward up the middle, one of those breaking passes, but everybody covered their man, and Potvin touches up for an icer.
Ironically, Jake, the first 2 players to come together in this hockey game were the last 2 players to come together in the game the other night in overtime. Harold Schnepp taking out Mike Bossy along the board. Bossy, as you'll remember, scored the overtime goal on a neat pass from Harold Schnepp. And tonight, Schnepp meets Bossy inside, almost in the identical place, only at the other end of the ice.
And you just had a look at the Vancouver bench and Coach Roger Nielsen. The names on that were telegraphed from the West Coast to the East Coast. Telegram from the fans in Vancouver to their Canucks. hanging in their dressing room, by the way. Langevin is out on the Islander defense with Persson. Up front, it is Merrick with Tonelli and Nystrom. The puck loose back to the Vancouver goal. Brodeur played it around the boards, right to Nystrom, centered. John Tonelli couldn't knock it out of the air. So the Canucks, they're up the left wing side into center ice, but Merrick got a piece of Fraser, and here's Langevin with it now to Tonelli. Rink wide to Nystrom, working on steps as he came over the line. Hallward came across to pick up the puck. Dumped it off the boards into center. That's Langevin backing into his own zone. Gave it to Stefan Persson, to Mike Bossy. Bossy out on the right wing, got it away from Smeal to Langevin. Langevin across the line. Drop pass picked up by Bossy. Bossy rink wide. Persson moves in. Shooting. Blocked in front by Brodeur and just out of the rebound reach of Trottier. Now Langevin with a shot that was turned aside by Brodeur. And play has been called.
Offside, Jags. John D'Amico calling the offside. Al Arbor getting his next line ready as he walks behind the players. What he's doing is assigning the players who's up in case one of the wingers, defenseman, centerman head for the bench. No, he's going to change now as Roger Nielsen has changed. Al Arbor has a designated line he wants out there. I would have to think it's probably just to not let them have Dave Williams, 22, against the Islanders, 22, Mike Bossy.
Yeah, he's going to fall. In this case, Williams will fall 10 short. He draws number 12, Dwayne Sutter on the right wing. Williams on the left wing for Vancouver. Miner is at center ice, and Moline on the right wing for the Canucks. Thomas Johnson with a long shot, grabbed and cleared by Brodeur, picked up by Colin Campbell. Gillies into forecheck. Bossy is out on the right side now for the Islanders. Move it to the blue line, picked up by Bossy. Can't wait for Gillies to get back onside, and they delayed offside in this case as Moline came to center ice. The play broken up at the Islander blue line, and there's Thomas Johnson with Gillies moving down left wing. Johnson on a weave, picked up by Gillies. Bart Gillies a drive. That was off the target. Bossy races to the boards, dumped it into the corner. Lindgren, the Vancouver defenseman, moved it up this right wing side. Picked up by Moline. Moline and Miner. Moline now to the right side, and Lindgren fires one, grabbed by Bill Smith. Plays it around behind the net for Morrow. Morrow up the middle, out of the reach of everybody, and the Islanders are going to be called for icing as Smith picks it up back to the Vancouver goal. 17:40 remaining in the opening period.
We look at playoff hockey. Dunk Wilson, a goaltender, Guy Chiron, a forward, hold the NHL records for the most NHL regular season games played by a goaltender and a skater, respectively, without playing in a playoff game. Wilson played in 287 games as a goaltender. Chiron played 734 games as a forward, a center iceman, Guy Chiron, and neither one of them ever played in a playoff game.
Well, you got to wonder where you went wrong if you're the player.
How about Dennis Marouk, who scored over 50 goals again this year, has played in 501 games without playing in a postseason game.
Now as play gets underway, Smith was bumped back to the goal. The puck went to Wayne Merrick, to Nystrom on right wing. Nystrom trying to commit around steps, picked up by Lane to the corner for Merrick, out in front to Nystrom. Nystrom turns to get away from DeLorme. Nystrom off the boards to Merrick, back to Nystrom, moves in, shoots it, and hits the side of the net. Tonelli trying to put it out in front of the goal. It's ended up in the boards, and there is Smets. Harold Smets up left wing to Rhoda. Now to Bolderev, who couldn't pick up the pass, and Rhoda was flattened at a good hit in that Vancouver zone. Popham in the meantime dumps it back into his own territory for Lane. Bolderev into forecheck. Ford Lane lugs it up to the blue line. Into center ice. Lane a long shot. Wide of the Canuck goal, and there's Nystrom with it. Round behind the net for Tonelli. Rhoda riding hurt on him. Tonelli unable to make the play. Off the boards down to Lane from the blue line. His shot right on. The rebound is cleared wide as Tonelli was flattened. DeLorme slaps one around the left wing into center ice. Nystrom picked it up in front of the Islander bench and then went off, and the Canucks yelling about too many men on the ice. Ford Lane with a long shot. Grabbed and cleared by Brodeur to Jerry Miner. Miner worked it out into center ice. There's Persson with it. Stefan Persson to the left side for Bossy. Bossy, Trottier, and Bourne, the forwards. The pass to Bourne off his skates. Loose behind the Canuck goal and cleared around the boards by Brodeur. Right to Bossy, who stepped in front of Williams. Now to Bourne. To Trottier, couldn't hold the pass. Persson came in from the point, and the puck deflected to center ice. Langevin back to give it to Trottier, to Bourne, back to Langevin. Miner had taken a run at Langevin, and now here's the Islander defenseman across the Vancouver line. Plays one around to the far corner. Trottier and Williams bump together. And we'll get a face-off to the left of the Canuck goal. There's a break in the action. The score, the Islanders nothing, the Vancouver Canucks nothing.
A perfect egg. Or is it? Magnified 20,000 times, you see imperfections you never knew existed. Look into a car's carburetor, and you may see something you never knew existed. Dirt. Dirt that could impede your car's performance. Fortunately, you can wash dirt away before it accumulates with mobile detergent gasoline. It treats dirt like dirt.
Brian Proche and Dave Williams get roughing penalties. Williams has been after Bossy. Proche got tangled up with him. Ron Wicks wants to establish the pattern. He gives them both 2 minutes for roughing. 386 career penalty minutes in the playoffs. That's including tonight. That's what Dave Williams has. Second in NHL history. Second to Dave Schultz. Here's the penalty. Proche, you see Williams come back with a little jab. They're boyhood friends. Dave Williams and Brian Proche. They've known each other for many years. Doesn't matter when you get in a hockey game.
Not when the money's on the line for the Stanley Cup. A couple of Saskatchewan boys going at it.
Talk about money men. There's one, Al Arbor. 1 year in 28, he's missed the playoffs as a coach or as a player. He missed it 1 year as an Islander coach, 73-74, which was his first year as coach of the Islanders.
Some of his players would have you believe that he has never spent any of the money that he has made in the playoffs either.
Yeah, I did. He bought a purse.
Okay, there's another line that won't touch it. It's field checked by Morrow, and there's Billy Carroll dumping it in off the board.
A big purse.
Fowler in for checking. He and Carroll, the Islander forwards, with Johnson and Morrow on the point. Now the Canucks try to move on into center ice, and field is checked by Johnson, and that's offside, as Fowler has been trapped inside the Vancouver blue line. 15:26 remaining in the opening period. There is no score.
Look at Andy Kaller. 1 goal, 6 assists so far in the playoffs. Goal scoring has plagued him. He's had some opportunities. We talked one night, Jiggs, about the fact that Kaller, when he's on the ice, gets some opportunities. They're just not going in. He seems to make one extra move, then the puck eludes him.
The 1 goal he did score, a beautiful shorthanded effort against Quebec Nordiques and Van Bouchard. Now a minute and a half remaining in the penalties. Brodeur using the stick to keep the Islander forwards away from the goal crease area, and Wick said something to him as the play moves into center ice. A pass to Gradine, but it was offside. He put the stick up a little bit. The other end, Bill Smith and Smeal exchanging some words after Smeal had come in late. That'll bring. That's a shot go after the whistle, and Ron Wicks directing some traffic at the side of the Islander net.
What Billy Smith is really doing is saying to Richard Brodeur, don't act like a little kid down there. Every time somebody skates near the net, you get your stick up in front of you like they were going to do something. And Billy Smith, what's he do? He does the same thing. He takes a swing at the puck or the stick or the person. It's a threatening gesture. Really has no significance in the hockey game other than a little showmanship.
We're going to get a face-off as a result of this in the center ice area, which is an indication that the play must have been all right. And they feel that they erred in calling it because it is right at the center ice face-off spot. And cleared back into the Vancouver zone and picked up by Edelbrink. Edelbrink waits for Smeal to turn in the far corner. Didn't give him the puck. And Smeal ran into Bossy, who was parked there waiting. Canucks try to come out on the left wing side. Lars Lindgren with it. Dumps it into the corner. Chasing this Bossy. Gradine put it out in front. Back to Lindgren at the blue line. Lindgren with a shot. Spits the save. He'll hold on, and Gord Lane will draw a penalty as he chops the feet out from under Gradine at the side of the Islander net. Well, Lane goes to the box. Vancouver with their first power play chance coming up. A break in the action. The score tied. Islanders nothing. The Canucks nothing.
Showtime Pay TV is total entertainment. 25 hours a day, and you're going to need every minute of it. Packed with blockbuster movies, Broadway shows, entertainment specials, late night features, outrageous comedy, and no commercial. Showtime. We're tuned into you 25 hours a day, 8 days a week.
Gord Lane draws the eye of referee Ron Wicks. Good stop here by Billy Smith. There's the shot. Smith gets it. Lane, you see him give Gradine, number 23, who scored 2 goals the other night for Vancouver, a little extra with his stick and drew a penalty. It'll be Spiel, Gradine, and Fraser up front for Vancouver, and the puck went right to defenseman Kenny Morrow, who dumped it into center ice. That's Moline going back. You look at the power play stats, and in this series, Vancouver was 2 of 3 Saturday night. The Islanders were 3 of 3, and the Canucks are into the Islanders' zone. Gradine played it back to the left point. Spiel to Gradine. Back to Stan Spiel. Into Moline. Spiel from the blue line. His shot tipped and just wide of the net as it came off Fraser. Fraser tried to center and hit Morrow. Picked up back of the net by Fraser. Fraser to Moline. Moline starts in at the face-off circle. He fired one off the post. And right back to Moline. Out of Gradine. Thomas Gradine turning, trying to get away from Goring. Gradine back to the blue line. Moline shot went wide, and Smith poked it into the corner and out of the reach of Fraser. Potvin unable to move it out of his own zone. Gradine around Morrow, moves in, and the shot hits Beal. Comes out in front and tapped wide by Gradine. Here's Beal out of the corner. Now Moline at the point is rifled it wide. Trottier picks it up. Ryan Trottier trying to come out on the left wing side. Ran into Moline, but he has forced the puck into the Vancouver territory. 47 seconds left in the penalty against Lane. The crowd reacting to the efforts of Brian Trottier. P.J. McDonald in the Vancouver lineup tonight. Checks as he came to the Islander line, and the puck comes down the ice. That's Caller chasing it. Kind of pedal break, but over to cover up is Bolderev. Bolderev at his own blue line, up the middle to center ice. Over the Islander line, Bolderev unable to slip around Persson. Now here's McDonald. The Bolderev back to the blue line. Edelbreak with a shot. Blocked in front as it hit Langevin. Bolderev takes a look again with 15 seconds left in the power play. Tried to find it through in front of the net. Goes back of the net. Find it from this side, and that was broken up. Rhoda to Bolderev. Bolderev to Rhoda. Back of the net he goes. McDonald in front. They couldn't get the puck to him. Edelbrink over to Hallward, and his shot went wide. Lane is back on as the puck ends up at the side of the Islander goal and controlled by goaltender Bill Smith. Well, the Islanders kill off the penalty against Lane with 12:42 left in this opening period. Vancouver not getting a good shot away. They couldn't get a shot directly at Billy Smith. You can see the elation on Al Arbor's face.
And one pretty good chance. It hit the post. Moline, I think it was, from the right point.
It was Moline. There you see it off the goal post. That was the only good opportunity that Vancouver had. It still does not go. Look at the play here. Morrow guesses, but guessed wrong, and that pass was a wasted pass. It was kind of a flip. Billy Smith put it out in front and almost had it put behind him. As he was down, the puck slipped away from one of the on-rushing Vancouver players.
Now the face-off to the left of the Islander net, and it's Merrick against Bolderev on the draw. And it went right to Persson to Langevin. Up the left side to Trottier. The Persson pokes it to Merrick. Bossy, Trottier, and Merrick move over the Vancouver line. Trottier in on left wing, fakes the shot, trying to get away from the check, was dragged down by Belland, and Trottier picks it up again into the corner to Bossy, but it was too hot to handle. Errol Snep starts out of the left wing corner for Vancouver. Put it right on the stick of Bossy, waiting outside the blue line. Now Snep splits it high in the air to the Islanders zone, controlled by Langevin. To Bossy, trying to set up Gillies on the left wing, and that failed to connect. Belland back in his own zone. Chase behind the net, then plays it off the boards. Out into center ice. There's Persson. Over to Langevin. Langevin lifted into the Vancouver zone. Belland cleared it out quickly to Moline. Moline got it to Jerry Minor. Minor at the Islander line. A long shot blocked by Bill Smith. They'll leave it for Brian Trottier. Trottier to Persson. No score in the first period. Persson carries it out of his own zone. Persson left side to Trottier, but it's offside at the Vancouver blue line. There's a break in the action. The score tied. The Islanders nothing. The Vancouver Canucks nothing.
Women all over the country are singing a new tune.
Hold that tiger, hold that tiger.
Presenting the Tigra, a knit shirt that'll bring out
11:38 remaining in the first period. No score. Williams and Crotche get together again just prior to the stoppage of play.
Merrick, Nystrom, and Tonelli, the forwards. Nystrom played it in off the boards. Merrick unable to get around Snaps. Errol Snaps and it's feeded to Delorme on the right side. Now he gets a stick on it. It was bumped by Potvin. The puck loose at center. Bolderev poked it in around Lane, and Smith comes sprawling out to cover up on it. 11:20 left in this opening period. On Friday evening, June 11th, undefeated champion Larry Holmes will battle undefeated challenger Long Island's own Jerry Cooney for the heavyweight championship of the world. Promises to be a classic matchup, and the fight can be seen at the Nassau Coliseum by a closed-circuit TV in a spectacular two-screen setup. All seats are $30 and available at the Coliseum box office and Ticketron outlets. Tickets available for groups by calling 794-9300. That's area code 516. For further information, 794-9100. Again, the 516 area code. Bill Smith just made a save off Campbell with a long shot, and Potvin is being penalized. Roto taken down to the side of the
Jake, it's going to be Billy Smith, a hooking penalty, I believe, or tripping, one or the other. A tripping penalty is going to go, I believe. Oh, it's Dennis Potvin. Yeah. If we get a look at it. A break in the action. We'll be right back. There's no score.
Excuse-moi, can you spare $5.15 for a cup of coffee?
Think prices are high now. Wait till the year 2000.
Great! Bologna's on sale.
This is a real steal. $4,100 a month with a view.
Well, there's help. Chemical Bank's IRA. You'll get a giant tax break now and tax-deferred interest. So someday you could retire a millionaire. After all, you'll need it.
Okay, 31,000, but I'm practically giving it away.
Chemicals Tax Shelter IRA.
It was Dennis Potvin, no question. Billy Smith had raised his stick, and from the angle that I was looking, it looked like Smith's stick was caught up in Rota's uniform, and Rota took a bit of a dive, drew the attention of Ron Wicks. Dennis Potvin's in the penalty box for tripping.
And to kill it off, Trottier, Goring, Persson, and Langevin at the moment. This is Edelbrink at the Islander line. His long shot, Bill Smith picked that up easily as Persson and Langevin had taken the man and given Smith a lot of room to look at the shot.
They did, Jake. It's a good play, and of course it's planned that way, that during the penalty killing, the defensemen try to keep the front of the net. They'll try to push the attacking forwards to the sides, leaving the alleyway up the middle from where the pucks will come from, the challenging shots from the points in particular, open to Billy Smith.
Dean will take the face-off for Vancouver. As Fraser and Smeal as the other forwards. Edelbrink out on defense, along with Doug Hallward. Hunt's got the draw. Fraser put it out in front. It was underneath Persson, and Smith covered up on it. So they'll face off again. 20 seconds gone in the penalty against Denny Potvin.
Stephon Persson blocks the shot from the side. He doesn't see it. Smith does, and smartly stops the play.
Now Persson slaps it out of his own zone off Trottier and down into the Vancouver territory. Trottier is replaced by Billy Carroll. Goring is the other forward. No score, 10:35 remaining in the opening period, and the Canucks tried a long pass that was out of the reach of Fraser. Persson back to touch up. Icing waved off at the last second. Good grief, and the Islanders have cleared it into center ice. Well, Persson touched the puck, and then the linesman waved it off. Now Smith out of the net to get it to Langevin, up the left side to Goring, to Billy Carroll. Two Canucks back as Carroll comes over the Vancouver line, but on the brakes, picks up the puck again, carries it out into the center ice area, and then fed it back to Lane. Ward Lane up the middle to Billy Carroll. Carroll back to Kenny Morrow, now to Bob Bourne. Bourne puts on a burst of speed over the Canuck line, in around Hallward, a backhander blocked by Brodeur. And Brodeur goes over backwards. Bourne Going for the rebound, made contact with Brodeur on the mask, and the goaltender went down. We saw this several times Saturday night. Bourne came over to apologize immediately. We'll take another look at it.
It always presents a problem. It's like crying wolf, as Bob Bourne, what a move he makes on Hallward. There's the backhand shot. And as Bourne went up to get after the rebound, I think his stick must have caught Richard Brodeur. Here's a great camera angle, beautiful camera work. There's the shot. And as Bourne swung the stick at the rebound, he caught Richard Brodeur. Down he goes. There's a problem in this, Jiggs. It's the old Wolf game. The referee warned him a little earlier about players cutting through in front of his net, and he's got the stick up. You saw Billy Smith swing his stick at the next Vancouver player that come down the ice. The other night we saw 3 or 4 occasions. Ron Wicks, of course, is knowledgeable of the game and what happened in it the other night. And if Brodeur continues to do that, they're not going to stop the play every time he falls down. That's what he's expecting, that they'll blow the whistle. If the Islanders are on attack, of course, it's like him having a hold of the puck.
Well, it's Vancouver on the attack at the moment with 17 seconds left in their power play. McDonald fed it to the blue line. Lindgren gave it right back to him. Larry McDonald, a shot off the shoulder of Bill Smith, and he cleared it out of the air. The Keller, and it's dumped into center ice. That'll kill off the penalty as Potvin gets ready to come back on. And here is Bolderev turning. James it sits aside. Bolderev over to the left side. Lindgren to the right wing side. Knocked around the boards by Bellin, but offside is called against Vancouver. A break in the action. The score tied. Islanders nothing. The Canucks nothing. What? Seattle presents Dennis Potvin, the man, the image. Be sure to stay tuned for this close-up look at the Islanders captain as a player and a person immediately following tonight's game. Langevin and Persson on defense. Barrick, Nystrom, and Tonelli up front. Nystrom has been changed. Bossy has come out on the right side as Langevin was bumped by Crawford coming back for Vancouver. Puck in the Canucks zone. Harold steps up the left side. Crawford unable to make contact with it, and here is Persson turning. Stephen Persson takes a look. Gillies is out on the left side. The pass went to Langevin. He dumped it into the Vancouver zone and gets a bit of a hit from Delorme, and we're going to get a penalty against Ron Delorme. Cross-checking. He ran into Langevin.
Smart move by Dave Langevin. He did not retaliate. The Islanders are going to outsmart the Vancouver Canucks. Delorme was trying to goad Dave Langevin into a penalty. Watch the stick go up right here. Langevin gives him a pretty good shot. And then the retaliation, 1-2. Langevin turns, skates away. As we look again, here's Delorme coming. Langevin gets him, wards him off with an elbow and a half a jab. Delorme retaliates and gets the penalty. Langevin did not go back after him. Delorme expected him to, but it didn't happen. He gets a cross-checking penalty at 11:27.
First manpower advantage for the Islanders tonight. They were 3 of 3 with their power play in game 1. It is Trottier, Bossy, and Gillies, Potvin, and Johnson on the points. Face off to the right of the Vancouver goaltender, and Trottier got it back to Potvin. Into the corner to Bossy. Bossy back to Potvin. Potvin shot hit Williams and is cleared out into center ice. That's with Minor, not Williams. How could I get those two mixed up?
They're both left-hand shots.
Minor skated through the goal crease and slapped at the stick of Bill Smith. Here comes Potvin with the puck. Potvin dumps it into the Vancouver zone. That's Bossy going in after it. He and Steps bump together on the boards. Bossy got the puck away from the big defenseman. Back to Johnson. Johnson from the blue line, a wobbler, and that was deflected wide. Bossy takes a look. Gillies in front of the net. The puck went to Johnson instead, over to Potvin. And he has to come in off the boards. Minor tying him up there, and then Minor is knocked down. It's cleared right back to Potvin. Potvin checked with the board. Bossy picks it up. Over to Thomas Johnson. Johnson a slap shot. Brodeur the save, and the rebound is cleared outside the blue line. 1:03 remaining in this Islander power play. We watch Denny Potvin play it off the boards. Picked up by Lupul. Harry Lupul was not in the lineup on Saturday night. Has been bothered with an injury recently. Now Bourne at the Islander blue line gave the puck to Persson. Persson Sent Bourne over the line around Lindgren, but then was hauled down, and there'll be another Vancouver penalty. As Bourne went to cut in, he was grabbed, and we get a hooking penalty against the Canucks with 42 seconds left in the penalty against DeLorme. The Islanders will get a two-man advantage. There's a break in the action. The score tied. The Islanders nothing, the Canucks nothing.
Yes, my company's...
Heavy hit in front of the net. Mike Bossy twice gets a couple of opportunities. Let's watch some of the heavy hitting in front of the net. Harold Schneps explaining to Brian Trottier, just trying to get you out of there, give you a little push. The same thing. Trottier gets the stick up, and then boom, Campbell levels him from behind. Not the most courageous check of the night so far. Let's watch Bossy as Campbell tries to chop him down like an oak tree. Bossy gets the shot away. Brodeur had the angle on him, made the save. Islanders come close, using their speed again and their puck handling. Stefan Pearson had a great opportunity, Jig, and he shot it wide from the top of the face-off circle.
Now 13 seconds left in the original penalty. That's to DeLorme as Potvin gave the puck to Pearson. Pearson back to Potvin in front to Goring, who couldn't make contact. Now Pearson to the corner to Dwayne Sutter. Back to Pearson just as DeLorme stepped out of the box. Sutter to Goring, the shot blocked by Brodeur. Harold Steps fires it off the boards, and the Islanders now with a one-man advantage. 1:07 left in the penalty against Lindgren as Pearson gets away from Lupo. The Islander line, Pearson to Gillies on left wing, back to Potvin across the Vancouver line. Potvin, a drop pass to Gillies, rink wide, Pearson to Goring, off his stick, and the Canucks get a break. Out into center ice and across the Islander line as Moline moves right in, and a weak shot blocked by Pearson. Moline dropped that one, and Pearson starts from back of the goal with a 40 seconds remaining in this power play. Benny Potvin to Goring across the Canuck line. Goring back to Janssen to Potvin. Potvin shoots and was wide on the stick side. Brodeur covers up as it came off the boards. They're going to face off to the right of the Canuck goal with 29 seconds left now in this power play.
Pretty good penalty killing by Vancouver. Dennis Potvin having a few words with Colin Campbell. Campbell knocked him down. Potvin tried to take the shot. There you see the captain, the Islander captain. Dennis Potvin. Here he comes, number 5. Went to take the shot. Campbell got a chunk of him, chunk of his feet. Brodeur holds in the puck. Two Islanders moving around. Richard Brodeur. They haven't had a good shot outside of the one Stepan Pearson missed the net with, although Bossy had a couple from the bad angle that Brodeur had no trouble making the saves on.
It is Trottier, Bossy, and Bourne as the Islander forwards. Potvin and Janssen on the points. 29 seconds left in the penalty against Lindgren. Trottier won the draw, got it to Bossy, to Janssen, now to Potvin. Potvin unable to get it to Bossy. Now played it off Gradine, and Bossy works it around to Trottier. Back to Mike Bossy. Bossy to Janssen. Janssen shot was blocked. Potvin holds it in at the blue line, then lost it. Here's Gradine headed for the net. Potvin comes back to knock it away from him. And Potvin's going to be penalized. Throws the stick up in the air, throws his arms up in the air in disbelief. Me too. He came back at a great defensive play. My goodness.
He covered up well on his original mistake, Jiggs. He's having trouble at the point on the power plays tonight, but he had covered well as he raced back with Miner bearing down on Billy Smith. Potvin got back quickly, made the check. He gets a tripping penalty on the play. A questionable call in my eyes. I agree with you. He got the puck, knocked it off the stick of the on-rushing Vancouver forward. Miner, I believe it was. Miner went down after the play. And Ron Wicks gives Dennis Potvin a tripping penalty. Dennis couldn't believe it. He threw his stick up in the air. Actually, he could have got a penalty if Ron Wicks. Let's take a look as we watch. Is that Lupul or Miner?
I think it's Moline.
Well, I was close. It's a Vancouver Canuck. There's Dennis Potvin throwing his stick. That's actually a penalty also. It could be called as abuse of the official or a 10-minute misconduct. But it was not seen. Ron Wicks was on his way to the penalty box.
where he should be for that call. The puck cleared outside the Islander line following the draw, and here's Moline backing up. And now Lindgren is back on, so the Canucks with a man advantage, 6 against 5. They start out of their own zone and advice the puck. They may not call it, however. Yes, they will.
A question arises, Jakes, with the fact that he gave a penalty to Dennis Potvin. The player was on his way to the net. He had somewhat of a clear path. If he's going to call a penalty on him, maybe he should have considered a penalty shot. Dennis reached out from behind and pulled the puck away from him and got the penalty.
I'm not going to walk into this hornet's nest with you. No way.
I don't blame you.
5 minutes, 5 seconds remaining in the opening period. There is no score. Butch Goring, Billy Carroll, the forwards for the Islanders, and it's Lane and Morrow on defense. Third power play chance of the period for the Vancouver Canucks. Islanders have had a pair. But the game is scoreless as the Canucks start out of their own territories. Neal, Fraser, and Gradine, the forwards, moved in after a loose puck. Lane with it back of the net, pulled it away from Gradine, then shot it away from Fraser, was grabbed and spun around by Fraser. Mr. Wicks had a good look at it, but no whistle. Now Gradine plays it in on the left side. Fraser chased to the corner by Morrow. Fraser centered. That's cleared by Billy Carroll. Spiel gets it back to the blue line. Let's play it to this near side. Gradine pulled it away from Billy Carroll. Centers. Spiel's shot was blocked by Morrow, and Goring starts up. Goring to Carroll. Couldn't get a stick on it at center ice. That's Moline back on the left side. Across the Islander line. Moline chased wide, put it out in front. Out of the reach of everybody. Bellin comes in from the blue line and stolen by Bourne. 2-on-1 with Carroll. Here's Bourne across the line. Moving in. Bob Bourne to Carroll. Shoots. He scores! Billy Carroll. There was a delayed penalty call coming. Lane had been pulled down behind the play. But the Islanders have scored a shorthanded goal. Billy Carroll. We talked about him on the pregame show tonight. Bourne set him up beautifully, 18.
Bourne having trouble getting a hold of the puck, but finally you saw Lane go down in the bottom of your screen. Bourne to Carroll, and he put it in the open side. Pretty goal. Nice move by Bourne. Let's watch again as Bourne gives it to Carroll. Brodeur is away wide. He thought Bourne was going to hang on to the puck and make a play, but not to be. He made the play to Billy Carroll, and Carroll, his second shorthanded goal of the playoff, has given the Islanders a big 1-0 lead.
Still 40 seconds remaining in the Potvin penalty. That goal, of course, nullifies the Vancouver penalty that would have been called had the puck not gone into the net. So it is 1-0 Islanders. 25 seconds left in the power play as Boldarev starts up for the Vancouver Canucks. Billy Carroll is back out there as a penalty killer. Boldarev over the line, went to the left side, and Pearson knocked it away from him. Picked up now by Langevin. Around the boards. Edelbrink got it to the corner to McDonald. McDonald back to Edelbrink. There's going to be a penalty call here. McDonald with the puck, but the whistle has sounded. Boldarev and Pearson exchanging words. I believe it'll be Boldarev headed for the penalty box when this is finally settled. Boldarev had been taken out by Pearson, and now linesman John D'Amico tumbled to the ice heavily. They don't have the padding that these players do. But Boldarev is headed for the penalty box.
Let's take a look in front of the net. There's Ivan Boldarev. Stefan Pearson looks back. Uncharacteristic of Ivan Boldarev. He is not the kind of player you expect that action from. But he did it. He gets a penalty. And this is where the Islanders would like to hurt them. They couldn't hurt them in the opportunity they had earlier with a 2-man advantage. And then they had a 1-man advantage for 1 minute and 9 seconds. But here they get another opportunity. 3:25 remaining in the first period. 1-0 Islanders, and they get a power play again.
And in 3 seconds, Potvin will give them that Islander power play. Merrick up front with Tonelli, Janssen, and Langevin on the points. Face off at the Islander line, as you see. Liner couldn't get control of it. Tonelli gave it to Janssen, now to Merrick. Potvin is out on the ice. Langevin heads for the Islander bench. Tonelli, in the meantime, is across the Vancouver line. Nystrom has come out on right wing with Merrick and Tonelli, but Snaps forced the Islanders to go back into their own zone. Thomas Johnson with it back to the net. Again, Miner skated right through the goal crease. He's been in the forecheck and headed for the right wing. Tonelli carries it to center ice. Across the Vancouver line, John Tonelli unable to get it to Merrick. Couldn't split the defense as well. Here's Nystrom to Merrick. Merrick trying to center. Being tied up back of the goal. Lars Lindgren and Merrick fighting for it. It went to Harold Snetz. And Snetz shoots it high into the Vancouver players' bench. 1:18 left in the penalty to Boldarev. 2:43 remaining to play in this opening period.
Everybody on the bench ducking. Somebody didn't duck in time and has caught the puck on the side of the face. Face mask and all.
Is that Lindgren? I believe so.
The name fits the blonde hair. The mask, much like the one Andy Keller wears.
No, it's not Lindgren. Lindgren is out on defense. It might be Thomas Gradine. It might be any one of the other Vancouver Canucks for that matter.
But Lindgren, he doesn't wear the mask anyway now that you look closely on your screen. The Islanders have 1 minute and 18 seconds on the power play.
Merrick gets this draw back to Persson. Stefan Persson lets the shot go. When bouncing off Miner, came right back as Potvin cleared it to Persson. Rink wide, that's John Tonelli. Tonelli being watched by Miner, gave it to Potvin. He shoots, tipped wide. Merrick with the rebound. Wayne Merrick in the corner, back to Persson. The Potvin lets another one go right on the rebound. Oh, what a save by Brodeur off Nystrom on the rebound, and the play called as the puck was smothered in the goal crease.
Good shot by Captain Dennis Potvin. Right on the net, and Brodeur called upon to make the save. Let's take a look at the shot by Dennis Potvin. Rebound Nystrom, but the puck was bouncing. And Nystrom with Lindgren and Schnepps all over him. There's the shot. Some more fine camera work from behind the net. As you see, Richard Brodeur kicking away at the puck. Nystrom gets knocked in on top of him.
Now Trottier, Gillies, and Bossy, the Islander forwards. Potvin and Persson on defense. The puck came back to Stefan Persson. Into Clark Gillies. Couldn't make contact with it. Picked up by Trottier. Ryan Trottier goes back to the net. Out to Potvin. Over to Persson. Back to Potvin. Potvin returned it to Persson. To Potvin. Dennis brings it all the way back to the blue line. Change positions with Persson. Band on the shot. Here's Gillies turning. Shoots. Blocked by Brodeur. The rebound. It's underneath the goaltender. He holds on.
Close call as Mike Bossy on the rebound from a shot by Dennis Potvin. Brodeur gets his stick and gloves out and makes the save. Bossy was moving away from the puck, and it's very difficult to shoot it. There's the shot. Gillies, Bossy, I had said Potvin. I meant to say Clark Gillies. Harold Schnepps taking Mike Bossy out of the play.
23 seconds remaining in this power play as Boldarev continues to serve the cross-checking penalty. Trottier knocked the puck away from Miner. Brodeur out of the net, worked it around the boards to Moline. He was checked by Gillies, centered, and it's cleared by Lindgren, and the Islanders will have to chase it.
Through game 1 of the finals, Islanders have scored 18 power play goals. Potvin has been on the ice for 15 of them. That's an 83.3% efficiency that Dennis Potvin has while he's on the ice during the power play.
He has just gone to the bench as Gillies came in, fed it off the boards. Bossy's pass was broken up, and out come the Vancouver Canucks. Teams at 6 aside. Into the Islanders zone. That's Miner. His centering attempt hits board lane. And Boldarev was bumped on the boards, and this time it'll be interference. Boldarev and Persson, and an interference penalty being handed out by referee Ron Wicks. Now a little stick work as Miner and Lane got them up. And Stefan Persson draws the interference penalty with 1 minute 12 left in the opening period.
We were talking about the power play. Stefan Persson, the other side of the point position on the Islander power play. They have scored 13 power play goals, while Stefan Persson has been on the point position. Stefan has been on for 12 of them. That's 92.3% that he has as an efficiency on the Islanders' power play. He now draws a penalty. Interference. Let's take a look. See if we can spot the interference. There you see him tying up Ivan Boldarev. Boldarev does not have and has not touched the puck, and that is interference.
Well, it was Boldarev who had cross-checked Persson back at 16:35 and just out of the penalty box, and he draws Persson into this interference call. So Trottier takes the face-off for the Islanders. He and Bourne are the forwards. Lane and Borrow on defense. The puck came back to Edelbrecht. Around the boards, but picked up by Lane. Gordy Lane had trouble moving it out. Now got it to Trottier, to Bob Bourne. Bourne at center ice, back to the left. Knocked off his stick at the Vancouver line. Bourne picked it up and was dragged down by Fraser, and there goes the Vancouver power play. Kurt Fraser on a piece of Bourne. Ron Wicks calling them. Calling all the stick work. Let's watch Bob Bourne as he comes off the boards. There's the stick of Fraser on Bourne. Bourne going down, Fraser going off. So that nullifies the penalty to Stefan Persson. Bad move by Kurt Fraser. 19:05, the time of the penalty. Billy Carroll and Anders Kaller, the forwards. Lane and Morrill, the Islander defense, as we watch Spiel back to Snaps. Snaps to the Islander line, comes in over the line. With Jet, Spiel picked it up. Spiel centers one. A backhander. Smith the save, and he holds on. Howard had come in from the blue line, and now we get a pile up at the side of the Islander goal. Now we're back to the same stuff that we saw Saturday night. After the whistle, push, shove, picks up, jostling, a lot of conversation. All makes for a long night. A fine save by Billy Smith, Jiggs. A backhand shot by... Off the backhand, it was Hallward, I believe, that made the shot. Smith made a good close-in save. Here's the pass. Hallward comes in from his defense position. There's the backhand. Good stop. Smith hangs on the puck. Smeal takes a whack at the puck Smith has a hold of, and then Gord Lane knocks Smeal over top of Billy Smith, and that's where we get all the pushing and shoving. A 1-0 Islander lead on a shorthanded goal by Billy Carroll at 15:55 with this opening period. Referee Ron Wicks talking to Islander captain Denny Potvin and to Spiel, who is the Vancouver captain. Jiggs, you just had a good look at Harold Schnetz. He was plus 22 in the 81-82 regular season, best on the Vancouver Canucks. Now Trottier has slapped the puck down into the Vancouver zone. Yeah, but the Canucks people tell you that it was only a so-so year for him, that he has really come on in the playoffs. Not a bad year for a defenseman on a team that didn't do 500. Now Gradine into the Islander zone. Potvin got a piece of him. Smith cleared it, not out. Here's Snetch giving it to Hallward. Doug Hallward comes in from the point. A backhander went wide. Morrow tied up Gradine. The puck loose back of the Islander goal and controlled by Trottier. Brian Trottier around to Denny Potvin. Potvin dumps it out into center ice, and that'll do it for the opening period as Snetch backs up to the blue line. The horn sounds, and at the end of one, a short-handed goal as the Islanders on top of the Vancouver Canucks by a score of 1-0. We'll be back with a recap following this message.
Buds for all the guys who keep the action from getting out of hand.
This bud's for you, for all you do. The king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you, that distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
This Bud's for you.
Of the dozens of airlines in this country, one airline, for the third year in a row, has carried more passengers than any other in the entire free world. That airline is Eastern. If you help make us America's favorite airline, we thank you. If you haven't flown Eastern recently, give us a try. We'll show you that we really do earn our wings every day.
While most banks are just giving away house gifts, Chemical is giving away a house. Enter Chemical Bank's IRA sweepstakes.
21 shots on goal in that first period, 15 of them by the New York Islanders as they outshoot Vancouver 15-6 and outscore them 1-0. Billy Carroll, the shorthanded goal at 15:55. A strange period. It had its moments where it was wide open and then settled down into close checking. 10 penalties called, and out of the 10, not one holding penalty. Well, it seems strange we talk about the clutching and grabbing and things that go on in this game, but we had some interference, some cross-checking, hooking, things of that nature. But with Potvin sitting out a tripping penalty at 14, called at 14:38, Billy Carroll got the Islanders on top. His second shorthanded goal in the playoffs. We said at the time, Bob Bourne did everything right, set him up, and with Brodeur going one way and unable to get back, Billy Carroll had practically that entire goal to put it in.
He did, Jiggs. He had the whole net to put it in. It looked like Brodeur was trying to second-guess Bob Bourne. We'll get a look at that hopefully at the highlights later on. But the story, of course, 15 shots by the New York Islanders and 6 by Vancouver, and they hit the goalpost on one occasion. There was a good chance for them, but goaltenders will always tell you that's part of their equipment, and it doesn't count as a shot on goal. But the Islanders dominated the period. The shots in this case did tell the story. They didn't get as many good opportunities as you would think they would get with 15 shots, but they got enough, and territorially they dominated the game, and that's what they wanted to do. And I think some of the weaknesses of Vancouver will start to show as they have early in the game. You'll see them more prevalent as the game goes on.
One major difference in that first period was the fact that the power play was not as successful for either team tonight. But we still have 40 minutes remaining in regulation time, and at the end of one, our score, the New York Islanders 1, the Vancouver Canucks no score. Stan Fischler will be along with his guest, Ivan Boldarev of the Canucks. That'll follow this message.
What makes NEWFM different? This, the NEWFM record collection. More than 15,000 albums. NEWFM plays hundreds of great rock songs every day from this music library. Classic rock. Plus tomorrow's best rock today. NEWFM. For 15 years around the clock, it's been 102.7 rock. Tomorrow's best rock today on NEWFM. Hear the difference.
Stan Fischler here at Nassau Coliseum. The Islanders leading 1-0 at the end of the first period, and my guest is Ivan Boldarev, one of the classiest players in the National Hockey League, both on and off the ice. And first, Ivan, before we get into some other questions, what about the first period?
Well, there were a lot of penalties out there, and both teams had the opportunity on power play, and it turned out the Islanders got the shorthanded goal, and, that's the difference in the game.
The interesting thing to me about this series is that a lot of writers, particularly in New York, seem to dismiss your club. A couple predicted that this would be a 4-game sweep for the Islanders, and from what we've seen in the opening game and in the first period, that was a big mistake. You guys have not only come to play, you've taken the body, and you've got a superb goaltender and just a very well-coached hockey club. What do you think?
Well, Stan, that's true. I think a lot of people wrote us off, and they thought we would lose in 4 straight, but I don't think that'll be the case at all. And I think they're judging us by maybe our last appearance in here during the season, and we weren't playing great hockey then, and we were still gelling as a team, and we seemed to gel at the right time just before the playoffs, and we've been playing some pretty good hockey all the way through the playoffs.
The interesting thing, of course, is that Harry Neal coached the club up until middle of March when he was suspended, and Roger Nielsen took over. Now, how do you, Ivan Boldarev, see the difference in these two personalities?
Well, Roger's a little bit more quieter than Harry behind the bench and off the ice. But they have similar styles. They prepare the team very well. With Roger, we know pretty well what a lot of their guys are having for breakfast just about, and that's how well we are prepared for the teams we're playing.
Ivan Boldarev has paid his dues, has played for many teams in the National Hockey League, and I remember going back to when you were Boston Bruin property. Ivan was invited to a Stanley Cup series that the Bruins were in, and then what happened? Well, I was playing for the farm team in Oak City, and we lost out in the first round of the playoffs down there, and they called up about 8 of us as standbys for the playoffs, and we spent about a month in the Madison Hotel next to the Gardens, which isn't the prettiest place, but
for the last series, you know, they didn't keep us around. They were playing St. Louis, and they sent us home, and so we never did get to see the Stanley Cup.
Boston won the Cup, and Ivan was sent home. We'll be back with Ivan Boldyrev in just a moment.
In Atlantic City, there are 8 hotel casinos. And then there's the Golden Nugget. There is no hotel casino in the world like the Golden Nugget in Atlantic City. You really have to see it to believe it.
Stan Fischler here at Nassau Coliseum. The Isles leading 1-0 at the end of the first period, and my guest is Ivan Boldyrev of the Vancouver Canucks. And Ivan, a lot of people say that if you have a problem as a hockey player, you make the game look too easy. Your moves are so smooth, and sometimes it looks like you're not giving the kind of effort that you really are giving.
Well, some nights it may look like I'm doing it easy out there, but it's tough most nights. But I've been, you know, I've had the knock that looks like I'm not trying some games, but, you know, you go to the rink with the same idea of playing the best you can each night, and, you know, the people watching, some nights they're satisfied, some nights they're not, and, you know, I just come to the rink every night prepared the same way and try to go the best I can.
Emotionally, Ivan, how has this playoff been for you? The most games you've ever played before in a playoff, I believe, was 8, and now you guys walking in expected to be knocked out early, just kept relentlessly moving. How do you feel about it?
Well, it's been a great thrill. I've never had an experience like this before in my life, in my hockey career. You know, I'm only disappointed that it happened so late in my career, and I mean, it's an unbelievable thrill, and it seems like you're walking 2 feet off the ground.
It's interesting that the team has also catalyzed the city of Vancouver. People are just talking Canucks, waving white flags or white towels all over the place. You've captured the spirit. We'll be back with Ivan Boldyrev again in just a moment.
Yes, my company's operating balances don't earn a dime. What can the Bank of New York do for me?
Manage your money so it makes you money with new Check Invest.
I can't tie up operating funds.
No problem. Check Invest links a regular business checking account to a money market fund.
So I earn money market interest?
Automatically every day.
My bank doesn't have anything like Check Invest.
Does yours? Check Invest, the first business checking plan that manages your money so it makes you money. Only at the Bank of New York.
Stan Fischler here at Nassau Coliseum. 1-0, the Islanders over the Canucks at the end of the first period. My guest, Ivan Boldyrev of the Vancouver Canucks. And in case you missed it, during the Chicago series, Coach Roger Nielsen of the Canucks waved a white towel, and that caused a big brouhaha, and then everybody in Vancouver began waving white towels. And just tell me about the transformation of Vancouver fans from when you knew them as a Blackhawk to what's happened now.
Well, even during this season, you know, the games, they're very reserved. They'd sit there and they'd applaud a good play, and, of course, they'd boo the bad ones, but they were relatively quiet. And, I mean, they've really come alive in the playoffs. They're standing and singing and cheering, and, of course, with the white towels, everybody's got white towels at the games now ever since Roger waved it in Chicago, and it's just been great there.
What interests me about this Vancouver team is the tremendous confidence right up and down the line. On Saturday, we were talking to some of your teammates, Ivan, and they said that, well, if they'd won the opening game, they thought that they could just sweep the series in Vancouver. But it's amazing that I find that the Vancouver club is not really in awe of the Islanders. What about that? No, you're absolutely right, Sam. We're each series we've won, we've become more confident, and you know, Rogers got us thinking positive about everything, and after that first game, we definitely feel we can beat them. Forget about picking a winner. How long does Ivan Boldyrev think this series is going to go? Well, I think the longer it goes, it'll be in our favor. Why? Well, the way we play, the tight hockey, and you know, we like to take the body a lot, and I think it wears down an opponent. I think the most amazing thing about the club is the emergence of your goaltender, Richard Brodeur, who is just playing fabulous hockey. Now, has he always been this good?
He's played great all year. It's you know, I think we were 5th in the league with goals against, and you know, he was a major part of that. And I think he's playing a little bit better, if that's possible, in the playoffs. But he's been great all year.
And Harold Snep's, despite the faux pas on Saturday, has been a tower of strength. We've been saying he's playing more like a Larry Robinson, a Denny Potvin.
Right, absolutely. Harold's been playing great hockey, and you know, he's been our best defenseman all through the series.
What turned it around for him?
I don't know. He's been rooming with me this year, so maybe that has something to do with it. I really don't know.
Ivan Boulder, thanks very much for coming. We'll be back with Eddie Westfall and highlights of the first period in just a moment.
Why strain your back removing harmful thatch? The inexpensive Thatcherizer can loosen thatch, and your snapper mower can bag it in one easy step. Thatcherizers fit snapper self-propelled walk mowers and riders. Get a Thatcherizer, only at a Snapper dealer.
Some of our guests received dinner for two at Off-Broadway Company. The Off-Broadway Company at 141 West 69th Street in New York City features the heftiest ribs in town, served in a relaxed Western atmosphere. An outrageous eating experience. The Off-Broadway Company is open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. Here at the Nassau Coliseum at the end of one period, our score, the Islanders 1, the Canucks nothing. And with another look at first period highlights, here's Ed Westfall.
Thank you, Jiggs McDonald. Both teams had 5 minor penalties in the first period. The only goal, there was some action. We'll see the goal after we see one of the stops. Vancouver had but 6 shots, one of the best ones they had. Here we're going to look at the goal. Excuse me, I'm looking at the goal. Here's Bob Bourne. Now watch Brodeur. He thinks Bourne's going to shoot it. He held too long, way too long, and Billy Carroll sneaks in behind. Bourne spotted him. You can see Bourne pull up right there. You know that he knows Carroll is there. Waited for the right time. Perfect pinpoint pass. And Billy Carroll gets his second shorthanded goal of the playoffs, giving the Islanders the 1-0 lead. And Bourne, of course, getting the assist on Billy Carroll's second goal of the playoffs. Here's the save I was talking about earlier. Here's the play in from the point. Doug Hallward off the skate, goes to the backhand. Lane guessing, just missing Gord Lane's chin. Smith sees it right there. Schmiel gives Smith a rap with the stick. Gord Lane sees it, comes in, and knocks Schmiel over top of Billy Smith. You never know whether he's doing Billy Smith a favor or not when he levels him on top of the goaltender. But that was some of the pushing and shoving that we witnessed here in the first period. Was not as bad as the second period in the first game. We'll be back for the start of the second period in just a moment. You're watching New York Islanders hockey on Sports Channel.
This is the world as you know it. But let's move 10,000 times closer. Move 10,000 times closer into a car's carburetor and you may find dirt. Dirt that could impede your car's performance. Fortunately, you can wash dirt away before it accumulates with mobile detergent gasoline. It treats dirt like dirt.
Hot spring, Chevy's coming at you on a hot spring. Have we got a Chevy for you?
A sizzling new 1982 Chevy Citation, America's best-selling front-wheel drive car. Citation, it's compact on the outside and seats 5 on the inside. Get a hot deal on great wheels. A new Citation today at your Nassau Suffolk Chevy dealer.
Hot
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Islanders and is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the New York Islanders and Sports Channel is prohibited.
In the first period, Jakes, we talked about 15 shots for the Islanders, 6 for Vancouver. I like to keep an idea and a rundown. It's not official, but it's close, of shots by defensemen. That sometimes tells an important story in a hockey game. In the first period, the New York Islanders had 6 shots by defensemen out of their 15. For Vancouver, 4 of their 6 shots were by defensemen. Forwards not getting but 2 shots in the period. Little story in there.
There is, yes. Speaking of stories, the Stanley Cup luncheon will be held in Vancouver on Saturday at noon. You're invited, of course, Mr. Westfall, and let's invite the fans, because for the first time, it is open to the public at $50 per ticket.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm not.
Do I have to pay $50? Is that why you're inviting me?
Taking you as my guest. Saturday at noon at the Hotel Vancouver, so if you're going to be out there, folks, you may want to drop by.
Oh, I got some great news, Jakes.
I'll bet.
How about my Mets lately? You know, teams that win games and lose games by 1 run are a lot of times championship teams. And the Mets are playing excellent baseball if they had just a little bit better pitching. Can you imagine? And we get a couple of hits from a couple of different players. But right now, tonight at Shea, 5th inning, the Mets 5, the Padres nothing.
I like it.
Kingman got his 12th homer.
Dramatic victory. Home run by Rusty Staub as a pinch hitter on Sunday. Last night they go to the bottom of the ninth with 2 out and 2 on, and
that's the way to win them.
Comes in.
That's the way to win them. That's my miracle Mets.
Somebody told me last night to ask you to lay off that My Mets stuff, because every time you do that, they turn around and lose a game.
That's not true. They won the other night. They're winning 5-0 tonight. We'll hope that they can continue. Another Met-Yankee doubleheader. We'll hope that they can continue. Another Met-Yankee doubleheader tomorrow night on Sports Channel. Did you know that?
Yes, I did. Mets at 7:30.
Get it all right here on Sports Channel.
Well, the second period gets underway. 1 minute remaining in a Vancouver penalty and about 43 seconds left in an Islander penalty. That's the race of the teams at 5 aside as we watch Doug Hallward send Steps across the Islander line, right side. Long shot wide of the Islander net. Steps was in deep, couldn't pick it up, and here comes Anders Kaller. Islanders come out 3-on-2. Kaller to Janssen on the left wing. Janssen around Gradine to Kaller, in front to Carroll, and what a save by Brodeur. Now Hallward checked from behind by Billy Carroll. Islanders may have gotten away with one. Gradine is across the line. Thomas Gradine chased wide by Morrow, and the puck loose. Smith comes back to the net. Billy Smith left it for Janssen. Janssen checked momentarily. Now Kenny Morrow works it to the left side for Kaller. Persson is back on. 13 seconds remaining in the Vancouver penalty as the Islanders have dumped it into the Canucks zone. That's Owen Campbell. Campbell at the blue line. Up the left side to Miner. He ran headfirst into Persson's check, and Mike Bossy takes over. Teams at 6 aside. Bossy to Trottier, and he ran into Fraser, who just come out of the penalty box. Gillies in as Campbell dumped the puck to center. Here's Kurt Fraser across the Islander line to Boline to Miner. Jerry Miner in deep. Trottier forced him off the puck. Picked up by Persson. Stephen Persson got a bump from Miner as he fed it to Bossy. Bossy at the Vancouver line. His pass cut off and cleared by Campbell to Miner. Miner had trouble picking it up. Williams is taken out by Clark Gillies, and Gillies drops the puck for Mike Bossy to Trottier on right wing. Trottier tips it into the corner. He and Campbell go after it. Campbell had left. Trottier lined up for the check. Now Gillies comes over and collides with Morrow. Meantime, Lindgren lugs it from back of the Vancouver goal. Lars Lindgren at center ice. Across the Islander line, Moline too well covered. Williams picked it up. Bossy chased him to the corner. Tiger Williams goes round behind the net, tried to stuff one in from the short side. Smith down to smother it. Play has been called. The puck came loose, but it was after the whistle, and we see some extracurricular work again after the whistle. And you know who, number 22, Tiger Williams. Billy Smith getting up. Williams down at the side of the Islander net. Ian Langevin.
Let's take a look at how the action around Billy Smith develops. Tiger Williams, Dave Williams, behind the net, tries to wrap it in. Smith beat him to the goalpost. Miner tried to shove Billy Smith and his pads and the puck all into the net. And from there, it was a lot of close-in action. Some players are better at it than others, and other players like only to be on the top when they're a little more aggressive.
Bill Deegan, president of the International Hockey League, hockey executive for many years. He was just recently honored, I believe, by the Hockey News as the Minor League Executive of the Year again. On hand here tonight.
Someone else recognized, Glenn Chico Resch, 15th winner of the Bill Masterson Memorial Trophy.
Now from the blue line, a drive by Edelbrink was deflected wide of Bill Smith, and here's Lane. Around to the right side for Nystrom. Bob Nystrom to Wayne Merrick. Merrick dumps one in wide of Brodeur. Merrick, Nystrom, and Tonelli, the forward line. The puck came up the left wing to Rhoda. Now into center ice to DeLorme. Has fired one wide of the Islander net. Potvin left it for Merrick. Back to Potvin, who tipped it into center ice. Here's Harold Sneps backing into the Vancouver zone. Sneps off the boards, off Rhoda, picked up by Merrick. But outside the line, played it rink wide to Tonelli. John Tonelli to Bob Nystrom, trying to come in around Bolderev, and was checked. DeLorme clears the puck to center ice. Going back is Gord Lane. Over to Potvin. Potvin up the right wing boards, out of the reach of Merrick. Potvin picks it up himself to the Vancouver line, cuts to the left side. Around Bolderev's check. Potvin plays it back in the net, and it got away from Merrick. Here's Tonelli now. Tonelli to Lane. Lane dumps it back to the goal. Brodeur plays it to the right wing side for DeLorme, and he tips it away from the Islander defense, forcing them back into their own zone. Rhoda into forecheck as Lane plays it to the right wing for Bob Nystrom. Nystrom bumped on the boards. He got the pass to Merrick, to Tonelli, and the pass was way off the mark. 3 feet behind Tonelli. Gradine into the Islander zone. Centers 1-2 in front of the net. Comes off the boards. Nystrom chasing it. Can't get there in time. Lindgren centers one. Gradine out in front of the net. Fraser's drive. Blocked by Smith. A bouncing puck. And Bill Smith has been able to smother it and hold on. Lane and Fraser ready to go at one another. The linesmen get between them, but Bill Smith came up with an excellent stop for the Islanders. A break in the action. The score, New York Islanders 1, Vancouver Canucks no score. Going with off Doug Hallward, picked up by Trottier. Trottier lost it on the boards, then he pulls Sneps down, and Trottier is going to get a penalty. Lupul, in the meantime, is over the Islander line, trying to come in around Morrow. Get the goaltender off for an extra man. Langevin just blocked the shot from Hallward, and it comes back to the far side. Bolderev centered to the corner. Harry Lupul picks it up. Morrow rides him into the boards. Now here's Tiger Williams. Williams trying to center the puck. Tied up on the play by Morrow, and as Trottier controls it, we get a whistle, and Brian Trottier will go out for hooking. A break in the action. The score, the New York Islanders 1, the Vancouver Canucks no score.
This is Harvey Pack at Aqueduct. We've still got the $50,000 left from Derby Day, so here's what we're going to do. The day of the Preakness, Saturday, May 15th, there'll be no admission charge. Get here before the second race, make your pick in the Preakness. After the Preakness is run, you've got to stay and watch it with us. We'll pull 11 names out of the winning barrel, and one of you here at Aqueduct on May 15th will win $50,000.
Colin Campbell, John Tonelli. Canucks get 4 minutes. It was the original penalty on Colin Campbell, not John Tonelli. And then Tonelli puts his stick up, and Campbell says, let's cross swords. They do, and Campbell gets 4 minutes. Tonelli gets 2.
Brodeur gets 2.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. It is 35. Richard Brodeur.
2 for slashing. Tonelli 2 for slashing. Brodeur for interference, excuse me. Campbell for slashing. Tonelli for slashing.
You think if they leave us alone long enough, we'll get it right?
Eventually.
It's going to be a man advantage. 4 against 3 or 5 against 4 if you include the goaltenders.
Well, now they're changing this.
Yes, they have. Well, I said we should just leave it alone, and they'll figure it out, and then we can tell them.
The penalties, Tonelli 2 for high sticking and 2 for interference. Brodeur does not get a penalty. It was up on the board and announced on the public address system and now changed. It is Campbell for slashing, the only Vancouver penalty. That is the one to number 5. Tonelli, being number 27, draws 4 minutes. We have 9:57 left in the second period. Some other news between the New York Islanders and Vancouver Canucks. Their two farm teams are playing for the Jack Adams Trophy in the Central Hockey League. And last night, the coach of the Indianapolis Checkers, Fred Creighton, went after the Dallas coach. Had to be restrained by the players. They went into double overtime, and Indianapolis eventually wanted to take a 3-1 lead in that series, 3-1. Fred Creighton upset with, and he is a mild-mannered fella too. Fine gentleman. Got carried away, gets upset, as do the players. Let's take another look at the action in front of the net. There's John Tonelli. He was pushed by Campbell. Now we don't see, there you see the signal of Wicks. Campbell crossing swords. A threatening gesture. I should always point that out. The player does not want to and is not going to use the stick, or as the players call it, the lumber on the other player. He's just trying to warn him or tell him or get the message through to him. As he speaks to him, he gives him a little stick across the stick. Bouncing puck as it came off the glass back of the Vancouver goal and lugged out by Snets. Harold Snets dumps it in wide of Smith. Brent Sutter takes over. Sutter, who didn't see much ice time in the first period, if any, and out here more regularly late in the second period. Johnson around to Gord Lane. Lane dumped it into the center ice zone, and the Canucks control it there. Hallward and Snets on defense. Now it's stolen by Johnson. Thomas Johnson to Gord Lane. Lane plays it in around one man, and coming back quickly is Hallward, who knocked it away from Gillies. Johnson comes over to the right point, lets a shot go. Brodeur got a piece of it and then covered up right on the goal line. It got away from him just for a brief second, and he very alertly grabbed it before it hit the goal line. Tell me that Clark Gillies' presence is not felt in front of the net. We saw him get a goal last night. Here's the shot by Thomas Johnson. Right there, it's tipped by Clark Gillies. And Brodeur falls on the loose puck. Another look from another angle. There's the shot as Clark Gillies tries to tip it in. Doug Hallward trying to check Clark Gillies, and Brodeur grabs the puck. Ryan Trottier on this face-off against Miner, and they've been waved out of the face-off area. So it'll be Bossy against Williams, and Bossy plays it to the corner. Miner chases it. Gary Miner, number 20, is hammered right through the glass. Trottier banged it into the boards, and out came the glass, and Miner ended up in the expensive seats. Well, they'll get the glass back in position. Let's hope everybody's okay over there. There's a break in the action. The score tied. New York Islanders 1, the Vancouver Canucks 1. He picks his spot. Right to the Vancouver goal. Trottier and Bossy still up as the forwards. Lane and Johnson on the points, and the puck loose back to the Vancouver goal. Jerry Miner around to Edelbrink. Edelbrink to the far side. This is Lindgren at the center ice. And Tiger Williams with it. Neglected to dump one in wide of the net. Thomas Johnson to the right side for Bossy. Bossy got it away from Miner. Sends Lane into center. 2-on-2 as Trottier moves up the left side. Lane cuts to the left, gave it to Trottier. His shot blocked by Brodeur. The rebound and just went wide. Trottier puts it out in front. There's Bossy. A backhander blocked by Brodeur, and he held it. In the meantime, Edelbrink had tied up Trottier behind the Vancouver goal, but Brodeur comes up with a couple of big saves and then goes for a skate. Good drop pass, Gord Lane to Trottier. There's the shot. Trottier knocks it away from Brodeur. Out in front, Mike Bossy. He gets the backhand away. He could not get it up in the air. He was in too tight. Slick again as Mike Bossy on the rebound gets a backhand shot away. And Brodeur makes the save. Trottier taken out heavy by Edelbrink. He's big and he's strong. Took him into the end boards heavily. Trottier and Bossy up front. Ersan and Langevin on defense for the Islanders. Immediately following tonight's game on Sports Channel, a profile of Islander captain Denny Potvin. And what is Emmons? Ersan to Trottier. Trottier back to Langevin from the blue line. His shot went wide. The rebound, and Trottier was tied up by Edelbrink. Dug loose off the boards comes Bossy. Couldn't slip around Lindgren. Here's Trottier with it. Trottier to the blue line off the stick of Tiger Williams. On this left side. Puck came off the boards. Lindgren to the Islander line. To Williams. Williams to Campbell. To Williams who unable to break in. And Edelbrink covers up back inside the Vancouver line. Give it to Boldarev with 1:45 left in this penalty against Kennelly. Advantage 5 aside, but now the second penalty against Kennelly being served, and Boldarev cuts in neatly. Trying to slip it through to McDonald. Back of the net to Rhoda, and that's broken up. Pearson gave it to Billy Carroll. Carroll sends Goring down the left side, across the Vancouver line against Edelbrink, and then shot it wide. Carroll comes over to check Rhoda. Hallward in the meantime plays it around behind the net to Edelbrink. Billy Carroll being replaced by Caller as the Canucks send Rhoda into center ice. Rhoda shoots it around the boards to the far side. Anders Caller let it go to Bourne to the line, but it hit Moline. Then hit Caller in turn. Hits everybody, bounces around for a while, and Rhoda finally controls it. Got it to Boldarev. Boldarev is checked, and there's Bob Bourne. Can't clear it out. Hallward from the blue line. That's to the right side. Edelbrink centers. Boldarev a shot. He scores. Ivan Boldarev. And the Canucks jump into the lead on a power play goal at 13-12 of the second period.
Their second power play goal of the period and the game. Ivan Boldarev. Let's watch as Doug Hallward makes the play across the rink. There's the pass to Boldarev. He lets the shot go. It gets in behind Billy Smith. Stepan Pearson down in front of Smith. Sliding across, as does Smith, but they're too late. Here's the shot by Ivan Boldarev. It goes in under the left arm of Billy Smith. 2-1 now for Vancouver.
Hallward and Moline got assists on that goal at 13-12. After leading 1-0, the Islanders fall behind 2-1 on a pair of power play goals by the Canucks. And Boldarev got Rhoda clear in front, but he couldn't get a stick on the pass. Cleared to the line and knocked down by DeLorme, brought out by Morrow. Kenny Morrow at center ice over the Vancouver line. Checked by Harold Snepps. The puck is cleared to Rhoda. He's got a break. Here's Rhoda coming in on goal. A drive off Bill Smith's stick. Ellen plays it around behind the net. Picking it up is Merrick. He's tied up immediately by DeLorme. DeLorme put it out in front. Jerry Minor with a shot up in the air and grabbed by Smith and then cleared to the line. Snepps knocked it down. Here's Potvin. Kenny Potvin clears it out across the blue line up in the air, and Bellin covers up at the Vancouver line. Little less than 6 minutes to play in the second period. Morrow chased into his own zone by Williams. Tiger Williams being tied up on the boards. Over comes Nystrom now, and we'll get a face-off inside the Islanders zone. A break in the action. The score, Vancouver Canucks 2, New York Islanders 1.
All around the Islander net. There's the play to Ivan Boldarev, and he put it right between the legs of Billy Smith. Smith moving laterally across the net. There was enough room for the puck to get between his goalie pads. That was the second goal of the period for the Canucks. The second power play goal of the game in the period, also for the Canucks.
They just won the draw, getting it back to Campbell. And then Minor on the faceoff against Trottier. Picked up behind the net by Pearson over to Langevin. Dave Langevin lugs it into center ice. The pass intended for Gillies was blocked by Lindgren, and here's Fraser across the Islander line. Fraser played it to the right side. Spiel had moved in, and back comes Clark Gillies. Gillies to the Vancouver line. A rolling pass to Brent Sutter to Clark Gillies. His drive blocked by Lindgren. Controlled now by Fraser. There's Fraser to the Islander line. Fraser slips around to check. Played it back to Gradine. Thomas Gradine ridden off the puck by Langevin. It's picked up instead by Brent Sutter to Langevin. Langevin out to center ice. This is Wayne Sutter. Fires it wide of Brodeur. Gillies in after it. Again, he and Lindgren go to the board. Brodeur knocked into the center by Wayne Sutter, but nobody there for the New York Islanders. And we watch Kurt Fraser come to center. Over the Islander line, dropped it to Spiel. Center, Smith blocked it, the rebound, and Gradine couldn't pull the trigger. Brent Sutter gets it to Bourne. Bob Bourne back to Langevin. Langevin around behind his own goal to Stephen Pearson. 4.5 minutes to play in the second period. Islanders trail 2-1. Brent Sutter fired one in, steered aside by Brodeur. Bourne with a shot. Brodeur made the save, started out after it, but it was picked up instead by Thomas Gradine. Gradine away from Trottier, over the Islander line. Gradine, the Fraser, and it was stolen by Potvin. Kenny Potvin, now to Bourne on the left side. Bob Bourne into the Vancouver zone, being chased by Hallward. The puck loose back of the net. Fossey comes in. Snepps was there to knock it loose. Now Trottier in the near corner. Trottier Waited for the man to come in on top of him. It was Gradine, and Trottier is still being tied up, and then he gets a bump by Fraser, and they pile up on the boards, and will get a charging penalty, I believe. Fraser came in late, and it appears that Kurt Fraser will go to the penalty box. A break in the action. 3:57 left in the second period. The score, Vancouver 2, New York Islanders 1. Trottier pounded Gradine, and then Fraser pounded Trottier. Came a long way to do it. And he gets a charging penalty. Look at Brian Trottier. He sees him coming. That's a penalty. Wasn't called. That's Gradine that Trottier went after, and then Fraser comes in behind. As they wrestle along the boards, boom, there he is. He appears quickly. Islanders 0 for 4 in this hockey game on the power play so far. Now Bourne controlling the puck after it was given to him by Potvin. Over to Persson. To Potvin from the point off the post. Hit the post to the left of Brodeur. Persson with it. Back to Potvin. To Bourne. Bob Bourne backs up to the blue line, being watched by Lindgren. Lets it go, and it was tipped wide. Bossy tried to put it out in front. Cleared by Snets. Bourne picks it up on the near side. Bourne, a drive. Hit the side of the goal. Bossy with it now. Bossy out in front to Persson. Back to Mike Bossy to the blue line to Potvin. Potvin to Persson. Islanders moving around with authority here. Persson starts in on the left side. Back to Potvin. To Persson. To Bourne. Bourne checks. Bossy is shot that was blocked at the defense by Snets. Hooked loose and held in at the line by Potvin. 1:05 in the man advantage. This is Persson to Potvin. Potvin back to Persson. Stefan Persson to Bossy. Shoots and scores! Bossy from Persson. He's the only person I know that can do it that way, Jiggs. We'll take a look at the replay. Amazing how Michael Bossy can put the puck in the net when it's in motion. And watch the play. He waved his stick, signaling he wanted the puck. And the Islanders, who had been held 0 for 4 on the power play in the hockey game, Stefan Persson sees Bossy. There's the shot right under the arm of Richard Brodeur. He was in motion, and the puck was in motion. It's hard to stop. As we look again, as the Islanders move the puck well, Potvin to Persson to Bossy, and then boom, one quick shot. And it's in the top right-hand corner. Again, Mike Bossy going high with the shot. Power play goal. The Islanders have tied the game. They're deadlocked at 2 apiece. You had a feeling, or at least I did, Jiggs, that the Islanders seemed to be moving the puck quicker and with more authority on that power play. The other one's a little more lethargic. They kind of roamed it around, waiting for Vancouver to make a mistake, and they didn't. This time, the Islanders forced Vancouver into a positional mistake, and Bossy rips a shot by Richard Brodeur. Mike Bossy, that's his 14th goal of the playoffs, his 4th power play goal from Persson and Potvin at 17:06. And you had a look at the debris being cleared up on the ice down in the circle to the right of Bill Smith. So while we have this break, I want to remind fans that the Islanders have formed a waiting list for 1982-83 season tickets. Request must be made in writing and will be filled on a first-come, first-served basis. Just include the number of seats you desire along with your name, address, and daytime telephone number, and send that to Mr. Ken Hare. H-A-R-E is the spelling of Hare. The address, New York Islanders, Nassau Coliseum, Uniondale, New York. Zip code is 11553. We'll be contacted over the summer about ticket availability. We ask you to also inquire about special group sales plan, but it's most important that you include, along with your name and address, a daytime telephone number, and send all of that to Ken Hare, New York Islanders, Nassau Coliseum, Uniondale, New York, 11553.
Jiggs, Mike Bossy's 14 goals leads the National Hockey League playoffs. Savard closest to him at 11. The National Hockey League record we'd mentioned at the pregame show was, it belongs to Reg Leach, 19 from the 1976 playoffs. That was Bossy's 21st career power play goal, passing Dennis Potvin on the all-time Islander list. The NHL record is 26, held by Jean Beliveau, which Bossy, you'll have to say, if he stays healthy, will pass that skating away.
Yeah, I would kind of think so. Of course, Beliveau was in his heyday. There were only 2 series each year.
That's right. There were the semifinals and the finals. Team 1 played Team 4, 2 and 3. And then the 2 winners played off for the Stanley Cup.
It's usually over by the end of April.
Oh, yes. There was still snow on the ground back home, and you always wanted to go to the finals because it was still too cold to go back to Canada.
2 minutes and 46 seconds remaining in the second period.
There is a however, though. Jean Beliveau did his over 17 seasons, figuring that if he got in the playoffs every year, that's 14 rounds of playoffs. That's a fair number of games. Our scoring was a little bit less then, I think, than it is today.
Yeah, you're right. Johnson struggling back of his own goal. Couldn't hold on to the puck. Bolderev put it out in front. Nystrom tipped it to Lorne with a shot. Blocked at the Islander goal mouth, and out comes Wayne Merrick. Merrick into center, leads a 3-on-2 rush across the line. Gave the puck to Trottier. Ryan Trottier to Wayne Merrick. Merrick in front. Nystrom had fallen, and here's Bolderev. Ivan Bolderev comes over the center ice stripe. Across the Islander line, chased wide by Thomas Johnson's check. Now Bolderev got the puck to Rota in front to Delorme, and he was checked and turned by Morrow. Delorme gave it to Rota. Marcy Rota unable to get it to Bolderev. There's Johnson with it up the left side for John Tonelli. Tonelli into center ice, working on Hallward as he crossed the Vancouver line. Gave the pass to Nystrom. Nystrom shoots, and it was blocked at the defense. Hit Colin Campbell. Hallward feeds it to Bolderev. Rota moves down left wing. Bolderev to Rota. Smith comes out to make the save. Rota was filled. And we're going to get a penalty on the play.
Thomas Johnson is going to get a hooking penalty as the Vancouver Canucks get an opportunity. Ivan Bolderev finds Darcy Rota down the left side. He's in all alone, and as he makes the play at Billy Smith, let's take a look. Thomas Johnson draws a penalty. Here's the pass by Bolderev in front of Ken Morrow. And right there, as Rota goes rolling in on Billy Smith, hooked from behind by Thomas Johnson. Smith gets the puck. Thomas Johnson gets the penalty. Heavy collision. That's what's dangerous about being a goaltender. Billy Smith shakes it off, gets up. He's a tough guy to hurt.
Johnson for a hooking at 18-13, the 8th power play of this game for the Vancouver Canucks. They're 2 of 7 to this point. Shaw comes back to the blue line. This is Hallward with it. Hallward lifted over to the far side, comes right back to Hallward. Long shot from the blue line, tipped and off the stick of Fraser and wide. Moline works it back to the goal for Radin. Radin to Moline. Moline to Hallward. Hallward to Moline on the right side. Moline centers, and Goring came back to tip it away. Neat defensive play by Goring. Hallward trying to come in around Goring on the far side of the ice. Gave it to Moline. Moline shot through a screen. Knocked down. Rolling puck. It's underneath Lane. A scramble, and finally the whistle is sounded. Trottier upset with Gradine. Goes after him. Smeal is there. Fraser is on top of Lane. It sticks up in front of the New York Islander goal, and referee Ron Wicks will hand out at least one, maybe a couple of penalties. Now Lane is off to the side of the net with his stick up in the air a bit. 1 minute and 11 seconds remaining in the second period.
They're aiming at Trottier. Not for the penalty, but Ron Wicks is going to wave a few players into the box. Trottier still having words with Fraser. Gord Lane. Fraser just took a punch. He just took a punch and missed. Lane had goaded Fraser into losing his cool, or more of his cool. And Fraser took a wild swing at Gord Lane, and he's going to get extra for it. John D'Amico, the linesman, was skating between the two of them when Fraser let go with a wild right hand.
All of this will come at 18:49 of the second period, with the game tied 2-2. It was 1-0 Islanders at the end of the first, and a couple of power play goals got Vancouver up 2-1. Here's the way this little ruckus got started. Lane knocked his man down.
Boom.
Fraser got up, took a slap at him with the stick.
All in good fun. See Gordy Lane moving around back and forth. Good stop by Smith. The puck is loose, and this is where it all began. We just keep an eye on the puck here. It's loose. Trottier moves in. The whistle blows. Smeal on Trottier from behind. Trottier after the Gradine, and Potvin gets in. Billy Smith holding his cool. Wise move. Good move by Bill Smith. He easily could have got upset, got into the melee.
Here's a breakdown on the penalties. Johnson was already off with a hooking call when Smeal and Trottier picked up roughing penalties. Then Fraser coming back, jawing away at Trottier, turned, took a wild swing at Gord Lane. He draws 2 minutes for roughing and a 10-minute misconduct. Lane gets a 10-minute misconduct penalty. So again, it's Smeal for roughing, Trottier for roughing. Fraser roughing and misconduct, Lane misconduct at 18:49. And Gord Lane and Fraser have gone to their respective dressing rooms. A minute 24 left in Johnson's penalty. The score tied at 2. Reminder that the game on Thursday night from Vancouver will be on Channel 9, and it will begin at 10 o'clock New York time. Change in the start time Thursday night at 10, Sunday night at 8 New York time. That's Eastern Daylight Saving now. And should a 5th game be necessary, it'll be played here at the Nassau Coliseum a week from tonight.
Let's take a look. We've got captured here on tape. Watch Gord Lane as he skates down. He's laughing at Fraser. There's Fraser's punch. That was Gauthier. And Gord Lane pointing at him saying, ha ha, you missed.
But Gordy gets a 10-minute misconduct.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. I didn't see Lane do anything other than talk to Fraser to get a 10-minute misconduct.
Is Gordy wearing his watch?
That's his underwear, I thought. You mean look like metal on the TV?
Yeah,
on the replay?
Pretty shiny stuff.
Yeah, there it is. It's got bracelets on, maybe, handcuffs or whatever. Maybe it's a good luck charm. I don't know. It does look like metal the way it's shining. I would doubt that it's metal. That's a tough spot, unless their equipment, maybe some of his equipment, the plastic or something on his elbow pads that may extend.
And Lois Suskind, please report to security.
Could be what's shining.
Lois Suskind to security.
Smeal had gone to the Vancouver dressing room and was called back by the referee. It's the reason for this delay. Now McDonald is coming from the Vancouver bench. He'll serve the penalty against Fraser, who also picked up the misconduct.
Well, like last night, or not last night, a couple of nights ago when we had the second period be the long period. Here we are. It's after 10 o'clock and a minute and 11 to go in the second period.
Folks are just getting home from work out in Vancouver.
Yeah, they're off the night shift here.
Morrow with the puck around the Potvin. Potvin to Morrow. Any Morrow to Goring. Less than a minute to play in the second period as Goring comes to center ice. Lindgren and Steps backing up in the Vancouver defense, and Goring comes in over the line. Butch Goring works on Steps, makes the play to Potvin. The shot will Brodeur the save, and Goring picks up the rebound. Butch Goring over to Denny Potvin. Potvin to Morrow. Morrow fires one toward the net that just went wide as Goring came in looking for it. Now Goring is replaced by Kaller as Lindgren starts out. Lindgren at center ice. Dropped it back. Thomas Gradine comes over the Islander line. Stick handling around Morrow. Gradine in deep. Goes to the side of the net. Smith just gets out of the shot by Lindgren. Puts Vancouver up on top. Billy Smith went wandering. Vancouver seized the opportunity as Gradine held the puck for a long time back of the net until Lindgren came barreling in, and Vancouver leads it 3-2.
Islanders get caught. Thomas Gradine, who has been a nemesis, goes around Ken Morrow. He goes around Billy Smith. There's two mistakes. Dennis Potvin guards the net, but he cannot guard it well enough. As number 13, Lars Lindgren, puts the puck in. There's the move around Ken Morrow. There's the move around Billy Smith. And Lindgren shoots into the slot and pops the puck by Dennis Potvin. It's 3-2 with only 17 seconds remaining in the second period.
Now we watch Dave Langevin come to center ice. The pass to Kaller into the Vancouver zone. Kaller poked it to the corner. It's picked up by Smets. Harold Smets, a long shot as the horn sounds, ending period 2. But the Canucks outscored the New York Islanders in the period by a margin of 3-1. And as we come to the end of period 2, our score is the Vancouver Canucks 3, the New York Islanders 2. We'll be back with a recap following this message.
The Islander defense backed right in and let Miner, who was all alone, walk straight in. Here he comes. No one challenging him. He just lets the shot go. He was the only Vancouver Canuck. He did not have any options other than to shoot it or to carry it in. He walked right in, and from 25, 30 feet, he put it right between the legs of Billy Smith. It's 4-4. The Islanders lose the lead that they quickly developed at the beginning of the period. That's 4 goals that have been scored in 2 minutes and 45 seconds. 5 goals in 5 minutes and 21 seconds.
Williams drew the only assist on Miner's goal, so we're even at 4. Langevin from the blue line. Stick save by the goaltender, and now a hard check knocked Goring down. Smeal starts out for the Canucks. Smeal backhands it to the Islander line. Knocked down by Persson. Stefan Persson to Bob Nystrom on his off wing. Nystrom trying to come in around Bellin. They went to the boards heavily. Nystrom goes to the corner. Boldarev comes in trying to jab the puck off the boards and finally succeeded. R.C. Rhoda on the left side. Out to center ice for Smeal, and then linesman Gauthier was knocked down heavily. Langevin, a hard hit on Rhoda. Goring goes to the ice as well, and Langevin has fed the puck to Persson. Now to Goring. Goring pass hit Rhoda. R.C. Rhoda from back of the net centered off Langevin's stick. There's Boldarev to the blue line for snaps. A drive wide of the goal. There'll be a penalty coming against Nystrom. Rhoda picks up the puck. Then it's to Bellin. Bellin's shot from the point was wide. Nystrom failed to control it. Williams goes to the boards. So Persson comes over. They freeze it, and Bob Nystrom heads for the penalty box. A break in the action. 16-17 left in regulation time. The score tied. Islanders and Canucks even at 4. Islanders penalty number 20.
In Atlantic City, there are 8 hotel casinos. And then there's the Golden Nugget. There is no hotel casino in the world like the Golden Nugget in Atlantic City. You really have to see it to believe it.
Bob Nystrom draws the first penalty in the third period. A cross-checking penalty. There you see, he's got the stick up high on Ivan Boldarev. Took him in heavily. Boldarev rocked with the check. Nystrom gets a penalty. Miner, his goal a few moments ago at 2:27 was his first ever playoff goal.
All start on the face-off. Couple people moving. Ron Wicks watching Tiger Williams.
There is one lead that is not going to be overcome tonight, Jiggs. The final score, Mets 6, Padres nothing. Charlie Puleo, his first ever shutout. Congratulations. The Mets win 6-0.
Out of the season, and the bullpen has come on real strong for the Mets. And here we've got a 4-4 tie. Islanders and the Vancouver Canucks as Bourne comes to his own blue line. Into center ice. Dumped it over the Vancouver line, but Trottier was ahead of the play. Still a lot of time remaining. The series resumes Thursday night in Vancouver, and again Sunday night in Vancouver. If necessary, back here at the Nassau Coliseum a week from tonight. And the Canucks giving notice that they feel it'll be necessary.
Canucks defenseman in the second period outshot the Islander defenseman 4-1. And as we had mentioned, they outscored the Islanders 3-1. There's what they're all after.
Well, a pretty good look-alike anyway.
It certainly is. A nice job.
It is Bourne taking this face-off against Boldarev. Bourne and Kaller, the forwards, Potvin and Morrow on defense. And Bourne is waved out, so Kaller moves in, and Boldarev pulled it right back to Mullane. That's the left side, and dumped into the Islanders' zone by Bellin. Morrow shoots it down the boards. A minute 40 remaining in the penalty against Nystrom.
Saw Wayne in there. He's serving a misconduct, as is Fraser of Vancouver. Lars Lindgren, Moline rather, almost popped it up to Bourne. Moline to Bolderev, off his stick. Caller clears it into the Vancouver zone, races after it. Anders Caller draws a crowd, and they double-teamed him. Here comes Bolderev over the Islander line. Can't slip through the defense. Billy Carroll picks it up. Around the boards. Going right to Bolderev. Bolderev in deep. Looks for somebody in the clear. Chased back by Doring, and now scrapped in front of the Islander goal. And who's that? Down on top of Bill Smith. Williams. You're kidding. Of course not. The Tiger went after Bill Smith. Well, it stands to reason, but what's he doing out there in a power play anyway, 18?
Are you asking me?
Referee Ron Wicks asking everybody to leave the goal crease area as the linesmen, John D'Amico and Gerard Gauthier, trying to pull them apart. Did not see any reason for Williams to be after Billy Smith, but maybe we can tell in the replay. Let's take a look. That's Ivan Bolderev with the puck. There's Billy Smith. Whack. There's one good reason. Boom. He gives it back to him. He's trying to make a little shish kebab. Billy Smith has a protector, of course, his belly protector, so that is not going to do him any physical damage, that spear. Break in the action. The score, the Islanders 4, the Canucks 4. We'll be right back.
They say you can't take it with you, but with Zenith's new lightweight portable video recorder, you can.
It's one of 5 new Zenith Beta VCRs, from the popularly priced model to the most deluxe. Some with wireless remote control, slow motion, stop frame, even front load. All with speed surge, and all with Zenith's famous picture quality. Zenith. The quality goes in before the name goes on.
To him. As I say, try to run him through, give it a Sir Lancelot. But anyway, 4 minutes to Williams. He gets 2 for slashing and 2 for roughing. Billy Smith gets 2 for roughing. Actually, if that had been another player and the way he dug the stick into the midsection of Billy Smith, that could be dangerous. That is a 5-minute spearing penalty that I think they neglected to call, or it could be that at that point Ron Wicks is looking somewhere else. He has to rely on the judgment of his linesmen, and may have called it accordingly. There's Andy Caller as he gets Moline and Dave Williams tied up along the boards. Takes 2 of them out of the play. That's a little... They both take a run at Andy Caller.
Now the Canucks controlling the puck. They still have the power play. Bolderev, then on the left wing side. Back to Moline. Fan on the shot, and Trottier clears it down the ice. Nystrom, who's in the penalty box with a cross-checking penalty. And this incident between Smith and Williams broke up. Now at center ice, Moline wheels in over the line. Moline, left side. Gradine, who was back out there, gave it to Moline, and he fell as he started to back up. Gradine comes off the boards to the blue line for Moline. The Bolderev, too far. And Potvin takes it to the boards. Potvin put it right out in front. Moline, a drive. Smith the save, juggled it, and held on. Good point-blank save by Billy Smith. Dennis Potvin, in falling, he opted to try and clear the puck down the ice. He did not get enough of the puck. He sent it sailing out to the point. Let's take a look at the action. Here's the shot. Moline lets it go. He goes high to get it over top of Ken Morrow, who was sprawled out on the ice. He not only made the save from point blank, but he got the rebound off his chest protector. We're tied 4-4, 14:42 remaining in regulation time. back out on the Vancouver power play for the Islanders. Trottier, Persson, and Langevin. Edelbrink moves up high from the right point position. Smeal is the other forward for Vancouver. Langevin played it around the boards. Persson slapped at it and got it out into center ice.
That's a good play. Dangerous, but good, as Dave Langevin cleared it over to Stefan Persson.
Now 10 seconds left in the penalty to Nystrom. Canucks come over the line. Smeal on the right. Bolderev goes to the net. Lindgren with the puck. Lindgren to Bolderev, and he fanned on it. He had the side of the net open, but missed the shot. Now Nystrom is back on, so the team's at 5 aside.
I had mentioned, Jiggs, that there are not many players that can do that. You saw Bossy do that in the second period. On that same play, he put it in. Ivan Bolderev could not.
Now Bolderev from the blue line. A shot. Smith got a piece of it. Bolderev whistled that one. Look, Langevin around behind the net to Persson. Stefan Persson, the Bourne. One on the right wing, a burst of speed across the Vancouver line. Couldn't walk in around Edelbrink. Bourne back to Kaller. Anders Kaller to the blue line to Langevin. He bowled his man over. Knocked Rhoda down heavily, and here's Persson at center. In 15 seconds, the Islanders will have a man advantage. Stefan Persson gave the pass to Kaller. Anders Kaller sidesteps Rhoda's check. Back to Persson. Stefan Persson killing off some time here as he circles at center ice. And now Billy Carroll comes out of the penalty box as Persson sent Bossy in. Mike Bossy on his off wing plays it to the right side, and it was tipped into center ice. Picked up by Gillies. Out of Bossy to Trottier. Trottier flips it through in front. And the goaltender, Brodeur, came out to clear it, and with help, they moved it into the center ice zone. Persson sends Trottier back and over the line. Ryan Trottier, right side, there's Bossy. Turned to get away from Edelbrink. Back to the point, Thomas Janssen to Mike Bossy. Bossy to Trottier. Trottier's shot was blocked by Lindgren. Ryan Trottier trying to put it out in front. Back to the point to Janssen. The Potvin to Janssen. Lets it go, and it was wide. Trottier, the rebound, he scores! Ryan Trottier gets the rebound of a shot that was wide of the goal, and the Islanders lead it again.
Ryan Trottier, there he is. What a good shot he made. He waited. It's being costly now for Richard Brodeur. Watch how he sprawls. He did not have to go down. The rebound right onto Trottier, and from a tough angle, he puts it high in the net. Coming off the boards, it's not an easy shot. The puck generally is not laying flat. There's the shot by Thomas Janssen, and there's the rebound. A little chip shot as Brian Trottier puts it in over the outstretched arm of Richard Brodeur. There goes Brodeur down. Had he stayed on his feet, it would have been easy for him to handle the rebound, but he opted to dive, and it's going to be costly as the Islanders start pumping them in the top of the net.
Kenny Potvin now with 3 assists in this game. Janssen and Potvin assisting on Trottier's 6th playoff goal. So we get a break in the action now. The score, the Islanders 5, the Canucks 4.
Both ends of the ice. Jiggs, I should point out, the Islanders tonight 3 for 7 on the power play. They're 6 for 10 in the series. Vancouver 2 for 8 tonight, 4 for 11 in the series.
Puck got away from Bill Smith. Back of the Islander goal. Came out in front, steered by Janssen. Here's Clark Gillies sending Wayne Sutter over the blue line. Wayne Sutter to Gillies, and a shot went off. The defenseman Hallward and right to Richard Brodeur. Now lots of conversation and a little pushing and shoving. Well, if it continues like this through the entire series, it'll make it a long, drawn-out affair.
Good thing we're playing indoors. We'd have to have the lights on and off and on. We'd have started in the daylight, finished in the dark. There's Doug Hallworth. Clark Gillies. See him get his arms up, but he keeps his elbows and stick down as he takes Doug Hallworth out of the play.
Still mingling around in front of the Vancouver goal.
Clark Gillies is trying to get something straight with somebody on the Vancouver team.
The two centers, Brent and Dwayne with Gillies.
Now there's an Islander fan. Number 12.
Wearing Dwayne Sutter's uniform, and that's about all. Just a jersey, huh?
My goodness, that's an avid fan.
I wouldn't want to get too close to a fan either. Trust you to think of something like that. 5-4 Islanders. 12-13.
Those Canadian cameramen.
Brent Sutter following the draw, unable to walk through in front of Brodeur. Hallward chased him to the boards, and there's Miner dumping it around to the right side. And Morrow worked it to the opposite corner, picked up by Brent Sutter in front to Gillies, and shot blocked. Good save by Brodeur on Clark Gillies. Now Jerry Miner starts out on the right side. Marner, stick handles into center ice, gave it to Steps. Steps, a long shot blocked by Smith, both to the right side. Wayne Sutter taken to the boards. We'll get a face-off to the right of the net. 11:45 remaining in regulation time.
With all the power play goals that we're seeing, when you think about records, the NHL record for power play goals in a series is 15, held by the Islanders versus Philadelphia in the 1980 finals.
And it continues as Snaps and Brent Sutter went to the boards. Drawing and shoving and pushing. Originally it was Gillies. They're going to get the big guy angry here, and then they'll have to pay the price. The big guy being number 9, of course, Clark Gillies.
Is that Williams? The last few times the Islanders have taken leads, Jiggs, you'll have to remember this, is that Vancouver did the same thing. Each time the Islanders have taken a lead, that may sound like a statement by a homer. That is not. That is fact. You remember back when the Islanders took the lead each time, we've had a serious altercation.
Now referee Ron Wicks is going to hand out some penalties here. Steps and probably Brent Sutter, although Gillies is skating over toward the box. I think it is Brent that'll hit the gate. We get a break in the action. The score, the New York Islanders 5, the Vancouver Canucks 4.
That's a tough penalty. Dwayne Sutter, who's been playing fine hockey, gets a 10-minute misconduct along with Harold Snaps. Snaps probably the best. I would not probably. I'll be more emphatic. He is the best defenseman on Vancouver. They lose him for almost the rest of the hockey game. The Islanders lose Dwayne Sutter. He and brother Brent and Clark Gillies looked like themselves again as they whirled around, moved the puck in and out, handled it well, kept a good motion.
Lane is still serving a misconduct, so is Fraser of Vancouver. The teams are at 6 aside as Bossy tied up with Campbell, but the puck came out into the center ice zone, and the Canucks failed to clear it out of their own territory. Trottier to Bourne, tips it just wide. Bourne puts it out in front, and the Canucks moving up this right wing side. Into center ice comes Smeal. Smeal's long shot is wide. Gradine on the far side, around behind the net to Williams. Gonna go to Smeal. Smeal trying to put it in front. Bid, it was cut off by Bossy. Mike Bossy trying to get away from Smeal. Gave it to Trottier. He dumps it into center ice. Campbell is there. Olin Campbell firing it around the boards. Cut off by Bill Smith. Bondsman takes it back to the net. Tiger Williams standing at the side of the goal mouth. Wasn't ready to let Bill Smith get back into the goal crease. Pearson to Bossy. Bossy dumps it to the left side. Bourne picks it up. He's across the Vancouver line. Bourne trying to walk it around Lindgren. Comes out on the other side. Gave it to Bossy. Pulled the puck and then couldn't get the shot away. But the center one that rolled off the mesh. And the Canucks come out on the right wing side once more. Broken up the line by Potman. The Bourne back to Trottier, and it was intercepted. Now Trottier takes it away from Gradine and lost it. Dragged down by Smeal. A rodeo. We got a rodeo going on. Now Gradine tied up by Morrow. They're getting away with some liberty taking again. Nystrom and Rhoda. They'll freeze it on the boards and grab a hold of one another.
What's tough about that, Jiggs, is it's hard to say who has a hold of whom in the arm-on-arm situation that we had just seen. Brian Trottier, as we look at Dave Tiger Williams in the penalty box. Here he is in action. Kitty bar the door. Next time it's Kitty bar Smitty. The industrious Dave Williams. After Bossy. Back into the play. Covers a lot of ice. He can be effective. There are some pluses to his game. They're sometimes very difficult to ascertain.
341 penalty minutes in the regular season, 104 in the playoffs coming into tonight's game. Nystrom has given the puck to Merrick, now to Goring. And back to Merrick at the blue line, to Nystrom off his pick. Here's Goring with a shot, chest high, grabbed by Brodeur. Bolderev was all over top of Nystrom, and Nystrom comes away complaining to Ron Wicks.
Well, Ivan Bolderev lost his stick, and he wanted to take Bobby Nystrom's. Now, I don't understand why, because Bolderev is a left-hand shot, and Bobby Nystrom is a right-hand shot, and he'd have trouble with that. Let's watch and see right in front of the net. There's Goring. He's going high. There's no question. He wants to get it up there on the corners. Brodeur had a good look at it. We couldn't see Bolderev and Bob Nystrom as they tried to share a hockey stick. 10:07 remaining here in the third period. The Islanders 5, the Canucks 4. James McDonald with Ed Westfall.
Got Goring, Tonelli, and Nystrom as the forwards. Potvin and Morrow on defense. The Canucks come to center ice. Bolderev got it behind McDonald, and here's Hallward. Doug Hallward plays it rink wide in his own zone. Tonelli into forecheck, forcing Edelbrink to move it quickly. And they play it up the left side, and broken up by Tonelli, who came back. Gave it to Goring. Goring away from Rona. 2-on-1 with Nystrom. Puts Goring. Then Nystrom, a backhander to Goring, and it just went wide. One pass too many, perhaps.
There was, Jakes. Goring was not expecting a return pass. He thought Nystrom. Of course, Nystrom was on his backhand. He was in a tough spot to take a shot, and his best play was to shovel it back to Butch Goring, and it was just a matter of, you're right, one pass too many, but watch here. Now Goring makes a perfect play, fakes, then he gives it, but Bobby Nystrom right there can't shoot the puck. It's rolling. He figures his best play is give it back to Goring, but Doug Hallward had moved over and took Butch Goring out of the play.
Oh, we have 9:32 remaining in regulation time. Islanders lead 5-4. Now Denver's headed for the Nassau Coliseum. He'll be here on June 3rd, 8 o'clock for his only area appearance.
There's some body crushing in the corner. Hallward taking it from Bob Nystrom. I should explain, Jakes, about the backhand. In that case, Nystrom has the puck on his backhand. He's a right-hand shot, and he's got his weight on his right skate, which means he cannot shoot the puck. There's just no way he could shift his weight quick enough to get a shot away. Brodeur had him kind of angled.
Brent Sutter tried to set up Caller, and he got entangled with the referee, and Lindgren as well. Art Gillies took a vicious run at his man. In the meantime, at center ice, DeLorme shot one high and wide of the Islander goal. Montana with it back of the net. Crawford is out for Vancouver. See that Gillies had taken a run at. Now Caller trying to move it up the left side. Held in by Lupo. We haven't seen much of him. Potvin is knocked down. Brent Sutter with the puck. Canucks running at everybody. Here's Lupo. Lupo with a shot. That ended up in the far corner. Brent Sutter to Caller. Caller unable to clear it out. Long shot from the point. Went off Morrow and into the crowd. Well, Canucks come out bang, bang, bang. And now Gillies and Crawford collide. And DeLorme comes over to say something to Gillies.
I don't really want to get too close to the gentle giant. He's starting to get his dander up. You can see his ears getting a little bit of a red tinge on him. Takes a lot to get Clark Gillies mad, but he's starting to show a little of it now. You noticed he stood there and nobody come near him. A break in the action. The score, the Islanders 5, the Vancouver Canucks 4. We'll be right back. Clark Gillies is mad. In the 1981-82 regular season, Clark Gillies had only 2 minor penalties, or major penalties, I'm sorry, major penalties. He does not get mad and fight, only when he has to.
He's drawn a single roughing penalty. Nobody else going off the ice. Gillies for roughing at 11-17.
It must have come, not here. That is not a penalty. That was way before. That wasn't the penalty. The penalty was when he knocked Crawford down in front of the net. It could have been called possibly an interference call. Crawford did not have the puck when Gillies decked him. But down he went. Clark Gillies gets a 2-minute roughing penalty at 11-17.
Al Arbor yelling at his team. He has got Trache out there. He's actually got too many men on the ice. Morrow is coming over to the bench. Gillies for roughing at 11-17. Bourne goes to the bench. It'll be Goring and Trottier, Potvin and Morrow. Speaking of Potvin, following tonight's game, Sports Channel presents Dennis Potvin, the man, the image. Be sure to stay tuned for this close-up look at the Islander captain as a player and as a person immediately following tonight's game on Sports Channel. Vancouver with the power play. We watch Lars Moline. His pass tipped by Denny Potvin. Radin off the near boards. Back to Moline. Moline teed one up and went off Trottier's stick and way up into the crowd.
He wants the puck. Wicks wants Williams off the ice. He's giving Billy Smith and Dave Williams each a penalty. He had both arms in the air when he signaled the penalty. Here's Williams. There's Billy Smith pushing. That's not severe. Ken Morrow trying to untrap himself.
Number 22, Tiger Williams, 2 minutes in.
Oh, there's a penalty.
Islanders penalty number 31, Bill Smith.
He waited until Billy Smith had retaliated and gave them both the penalty.
35. Williams of the Canucks.
Interference on Williams, slashing on Bill Smith.
11:35.
Well, again tonight, Game 2 drags on and on. We still have 8:25 remaining in regulation time.
Number 3, Thomas Johnson.
Thomas Johnson will serve the penalty against Bill Smith. Brent Sutter over talking to linesman John D'Amico.
If you wonder why Thomas Johnson has the duty of serving the penalty, it has to be a player that's on the ice at the time of the infraction.
And they're throwing Thomas out of the penalty box.
He wasn't on the ice, was he?
No, he wasn't.
It was Ken Morrow and Dennis Potvin on defense. Al just tried to sneak in.
Brent Sutter saying, I was out here. Trottier and Goring, I thought. Yeah, now Butchie's coming over the boards, and he'll have to serve the penalty.
Number 91,
Somebody who was on the ice at the time of the infraction. Good. Another look at what happened in front of the net.
Watch the end of Smith's stick. Now, I don't agree with that. I don't particularly agree with the guy that he's doing it to either, so it shouldn't really matter. I don't, that's the...
Tiger saying, what did I do?
Yeah, what did I? He really didn't do anything, but Wicks wants him off there because he knows he's just in there to stir up some trouble. There's Tiger giving a couple of kisses. He's blowing some kisses down the way to one of the Islanders. Actually, he's yelling at Ron Wicks. Wicks is standing down in front of the Islanders side of the penalty box.
They continue to play 6 against 5 with these coincidental penalties to Williams and Smith. 5-4 Islanders, 8:15 remaining in regulation time. We watch the Canucks on the power play. They try to come to center ice. Finally, Bellin slaps it around the boards into the Islanders zone. And there is Trottier. He is bowled over. The puck beneath Trottier, and they'll face off deep in the Islander territory. Schmiel stepped into him pretty hard.
He did. A good hard check by Stan Schmiel. He's the leading scorer for the Vancouver Canucks. Coming into tonight's game, he was tied, I should say, with Thomas Gradin. There's the check. Brian Trottier knocked off the puck. Or I should say he knocked on the puck. That was a stoppage of play.
It's Billy Carroll, Mike Bossy, Bob Bourne, Wayne Sutter, and Brian Trottier for the Islanders. Jerry Miner, Lars Lindgren, Ivan Boldarev, and Gradin scoring for Vancouver. Potvin cleared the puck out of his own zone, and at center ice, here's Hallward with it. Doug Hallward. Now Gradin pulled it away from a check, comes in over the Islander line. Gradin tied up by Potvin. Potvin went to the deck. The puck cleared by Fraser. Moline at the blue line. Rink wide, knocked down. Hallward plays it around behind the net to Fraser. Fraser being checked by Morrow. Bourne is there as well. The puck in a pileup. Schmiel gets it to the blue line. Hallward kicks it into Schmiel. Back to Hallward. Hallward flips it over to Moline. Moline at the side of the net. Gradin comes out. Smith the save. They bang at the rebound, and it ends up in the corner to the left. Picked up and cleared by Fraser. Back to Moline. Moline over the far side. Hallward shot, fifth to save. It's loose back to the Islander goal, picked up by Fraser. Fraser tried to go short side, couldn't stuff it in. Now Gradine from back of the goal, out to Smeal. Stan Smeal being watched by Bourne. Moves in a little deeper, plays it to the point. Here's Moline. Caller moved up on him, and Moline threw it to the corner. Hallward around behind the net. Fraser to Smeal. Smeal off balance, and Bourne stole it. Out they come, 2-on-1. Bourne to Caller, back to Bourne. Bourne moves right in on top of the net. Went to the backhand, and the pass to Caller failed to work. Ersan poked it into the Vancouver zone, and the teams are at 6 aside now as Gradine slaps it into the Islander territory. Also close again on a shorthanded situation. Rona's pass intercepted by Langevin. Langevin gets to center ice, checked there by McDonald. The puck ends up back of the Vancouver goal. 6:15 left in regulation. Here's Nystrom out in front, and he shot it wide. John Tonelli comes in after the puck. Tonelli being grabbed by Rona as he went back of the goal. Nystrom is knocked down. Here's Barrick with it now to John Tonelli. Tonelli trying to get away from Rona. John Tonelli and Rona in a real struggle for it. It's picked up by Nystrom. Nystrom comes out in front, shoots. That was blocked off some skates. Lars Lindgren had it stolen by Nystrom. Nystrom shot. He scores!
Top left-hand corner, Bobby Nystrom. Hard work again. Merrick, Tonelli, and Nystrom finishes off the play with a perfect shot in the top left-hand corner. The Islanders a 2-goal lead. Here's John Tonelli wrestling with Rhoda. Lindgren comes in, checks Tonelli. That's 2 of them that were after him, and there's the shot. Blocked the first time as Nystrom tried. Watch the second time as Nystrom turns and lets it go right over the left shoulder. Richard Brodeur, another goal. Here's the same goal from another angle. John Tonelli signals goal. There's the shot. Good camera work by the crew here at the Nassau Coliseum as Bobby Nystrom. His 4th goal of the playoffs from Wayne Merrick and John Tonelli has given the Islanders a 2-goal lead, 6-4.
6 different Islanders with goals. Ersan has flipped it high into the Vancouver zone. Picked up back of the net by Hallward. Doug Hallward up the left wing. That's Tiger Williams. Flips it into the center ice zone. Lupul across the line with Delorme. And Persson came over to check Lupul. Stefan Persson. Pulls it away from Delorme. The pass to Caller went behind him. Now Campbell dumps one into the Islander zone. Right to Bill Smith. Smith up the left side to Langevin. Langevin comes out over the blue line, checked at center by Lupul, and Hallward goes back. Gave it to Campbell. Colin Campbell to Gary Lupul. Lupul shoots it into the Islander zone. We have a little more than 5 minutes to play in regulation time. It is 6-4 Islanders as Trottier breaks into center ice. Ryan Trottier over the Vancouver line with a drive just wide of the Vancouver net. Now Bossy lets it go. That was high and wide. It comes bouncing off the glass to Ron Delorme. Delorme over to the left side. That'll break. Backhand pass into the Islander zone, and Morrow leveled his man. Gradine. Meantime, here's Johnson coming out of the left wing corner. Thomas Johnson. Drop pass to Caller. Morrow unable to pick it up. Kenny Morrow turns at the Islander line. The pass to Caller failed to work, and here comes Gradine. Right in front of the net. Shoots and fired it wide. And Sutter moves it up right wing to Nystrom. Nystrom checked on the boards. Got it out to center ice to Caller. Rink wide to Thomas Johnson. Johnson for the Islanders to Morrow. Right wing to Brent Sutter. Brent Sutter to Butch Goring. Blows in over the line. Drops it to Gillies. Gillies, he shoots. That was tipped wide. Fraser picks up the loose puck. Bert Fraser into center to Spiel, and Potvin knocked it away from him and rolls on edge right to Bill Smith. Off to Lane. Less than 4 minutes remaining in regulation time. Lane comes to center, fires a high, long shot. Handled by Brodeur and almost hit Goring. Fraser on the left wing side. Up to center ice. Here comes B.J. McDonald over the Islander line with a shot that was wide of Bill Smith, and he covers up with the puck. Almost lost it in the goal crease, but smothers it for the face-off. 3:40 left in regulation time. A break in the action with the score. Islanders 6, Canucks 4.
This Toyota Corolla has had 98 drivers in the past 18 months. It's owned by the Dollar Rent-A-Car franchise of Long Beach, California. Some of its drivers were good. Some weren't. But this Corolla took them all on, and it's still going.
You know, for my dough, Toyota Corolla is the best because it gives me the least, whoa, trouble.
Corolla.
The fan reaction from the matrix board. They're showing again 2 full Stanley Cups and sneaking in on the corner about a half of another one. 3 minutes and 40 seconds, the time remaining, regulation time. It was 3-2 Vancouver going to this final period. The Islanders have outscored them 4-1. Rache cleared it to the blue line and hit Hallward's stick, came back to Campbell. Campbell checked by Brent Sutter. Goring comes over as well, and the puck sprung loose for Gord Lane. Lane with Hallward backing up. Lane from the blue line. A good blast and a good save by Brodeur. Now the Canucks wind up. Hallward into center ice. Got away from Goring over the Islander line. Shot went wide of Bill Smith. Cleared by Merrick to Brent Sutter. Brent Sutter around behind the net. Lost it to Rhoda. Rhoda unable to center. Danny Potvin pulled it away from McDonald. Comes out over the center ice strike. Potvin to Merrick. The pass off his stick and outside the line and delayed offside. The Canucks with a chance to bring it up. McDonald to Bolderev. Over the Islander line. Bolderev chased by Langevin. Went to center one and that's deflected into the crowd. We have 2:49 remaining in regulation time. We'll be with you from the Pacific Coliseum on Islanders television Thursday night. 10 o'clock Eastern time, and again Sunday night at 8. Should it be necessary, we'll be back here with Game 5 from the Nassau Coliseum on Sports Channel a week from tonight, beginning at 7:30. Some people think that there may not be another hockey game this year in the Nassau Coliseum. We will not know that until this game has been completed and we get back from Vancouver. Vancouver could be a much tougher team at home. Now Merrick spun around following the faceoff. The puck came back to the blue line. Lindgren with a shot. Blocked at the screen. Nystrom trying to tip it out. It goes to Trottier. Trottier to Wayne Merrick. Nystrom moves down the right wing. Merrick across the line. Couldn't move in around the defense. Here's Nystrom with it. Bob Nystrom to Wayne Merrick. Merrick checked in the corner. The puck loose back to the net. That's Canelli going in after it. Put it out in front. Merrick was too well covered. Langevin lets it go from the left point. Turned aside by Brodeur. Moline takes over on this right side. Into center ice for Jerry Miner. Miner across the line. Chased by Persson. Miner tried to center one for Williams, and Smith was out of the net to clear it. Langevin chasing it. Williams all over top of him as Langevin has dumped it down the boards. It's rolling on edge. We have 2 minutes remaining in regulation time. The 2-goal Islander lead. Canelli got the stick up a little. Oh, what a check by Trottier as he leveled Hallward. Now here's Borrow to John Canelli across the Vancouver line. Canelli cuts to the left side, gave the puck to Trottier. Back to the other side to Potvin, and he was checked by Spiel. Trottier picks it up again at center. That's Borrow with it now to Trottier. Ryan Trottier off the boards to Bossy, trying to slip around Hallward. Comes over the line. Trottier goes to the net. Bossy shot blocked by Brodeur. He sits down on top of it. 1:26 left in regulation time. A break in the action. The score, Islanders 6, Canucks 4. Roger Nielsen gathers his troops around him. Back into the foxhole for a parlay. They've got to figure out a new attack. Down 2 goals, 1 minute and 26 seconds remaining. They took the timeout. The Islanders get a chance to talk about it as well. Let's just pass along the travel plans. The Islanders leave after the game tonight. They charter to Toronto. Will spend the night there, or I guess what's left of the morning by the time they arrive. And then will be on their way to Vancouver shortly after 9 tomorrow morning. On a commercial flight, Vancouver, as I understand it, will leave here tomorrow morning. The Islanders, in all likelihood, will be in Vancouver waiting for the Canucks to get home. They'll practice there tomorrow, play Thursday night. Friday is an off day, so is Saturday. Saturday, the Stanley Cup luncheon at noon at the Hotel Vancouver. And Game 4 is set for Sunday night, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 5:05, of course, in Vancouver.
That 2.5 cups on the tie as well?
That's 2.5 cups.
Kind of like that.
That blonde lady, that pretty blonde lady, is Mrs. Joe Dewar. Never misses a hockey game. They have been coming from day one.
It'll be Goring, Gillies, and Dwayne Sutter for the Islanders. Goring got the draw, and Dwayne Sutter blasted one high over the crossbar.
Islanders are going to try and keep the puck in Vancouver's end of the ice.
Now the Canucks move it out into center. Persson was there. Persson gets away from a check, gave it to Goring.
Fine move by Stefan Persson.
Brodeur out of the net. Fed it to Fraser on left wing. Out to Gradine. Couldn't pick up the puck at center. Icing waved off as Langevin goes back. Langevin around the boards, and he was bumped by Spiel. Persson fed it out over the line. A race for it. Goring can't get there in time. Gradine fed it to Bolderev. Brodeur is on the Vancouver bench as they go with the extra man now. Langevin backhands the puck into the Islander players' bench. 45 seconds left in regulation. Brodeur on the Vancouver bench.
There's going to be the loneliness of the empty net. Islanders just want to get the puck across the red line. They get a chance at it, you know they'll be sniping at it.
Immediately following the game tonight, no hockey hotline. We'll recap some of the goals for you, and then after the game, Sports Channel will present Dennis Potvin, the man, the image. Produced by Father Tom Hartman for Telcare originally, and seen tonight here on Sports Channel. The thoughts from players, his teammates, players from around the league, and a pretty good insight, in-depth look at Denny Potvin. Morrow shoots it around the boards and all the way down into the Vancouver zone.
But guess what?
Racing after it, gets in front of Moline, unable to center. Bourne picks it up. Bob Bourne had to play it off the stick, and Moline has managed to clear it to center. And off Bossy, Spiel with it at the Vancouver line. Right side to Hallward. Hallward plays it around the board. Smith had to cut it off, gave it to Potvin. Denny Potvin takes a look. 2-goal Islander lead, and as Potvin was bumped, the puck went up into the crowd. So we're going to face off with 17 ticks of the clock remaining. The Islanders appear headed for Vancouver with a 2-goal lead in the series. 2-game lead, I should say.
A 2-goal lead here in this hockey game. They had a 2-goal lead back at the beginning of the third period when Bourne scored a power play goal at 32 seconds. Sutter followed him, Dwayne Sutter, with a goal at a minute and 19 seconds, and the Islanders were up by 2 goals.
Roger Nielsen knew coming in here that they have to win a game at the Nassau Coliseum in order to upset the Islanders and win the Stanley Cup. Well, they have been unable to get a split in the first 2.
I was wrong, Jiggs. The Islanders started the third period. They were down a goal, 3-2. Bourne's goal tied it at 3. Sutter put them ahead, 4-3. Miners scored to tie it.
And it's Rache's power play goal that sits as the game winner right now.
You're right.
But a big goal by Bob Nystrom from Tonelli and Merrick at 14-10 to get this 2-goal lead. And with 10 seconds left, the Canucks forced into their own zone. The fans begin to count down the clock as it steps into the Islanders' zone. Smith plays it, and that'll do it. Bill Smith will last to handle the puck in Game 2. The Islanders will go to Vancouver leading 2 games to none in this best-of-7 Stanley Cup final as they defeat the Canucks. They had to come from behind in the third period to do it, as you see Bill Smith getting the high five, the glad hand. He started his 13th consecutive playoff game, the team record, and comes up the winner as the Islanders have defeated Vancouver. Another long struggle here at the Nassau Coliseum. But it's the Islanders 6, the Canucks 4, the final score. And we'll be back with a recap on our Budweiser Star of the Game selection following this message.